Good morning. Captain Coder here on this beautiful, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world, Corfless. Happy Sunday, my friend. Happy Sunday, my friend. But good morning here from me to you in the beautiful southwestern desert. Southwest. I just want to make sure. I almost said southeast. 5 a.m. local time. We are happy to be here. We are working on Skydriver. This is day 7. We're almost done. Skydriver is a 3D action platformer inspired by the classic Sky Roads, which is a sequel to Cosmonaut. It's a platformer space inspired theme where you're driving through some beautiful 3D space. Try not to fall into the void. We're almost done. Congratulations, Corpus. I'm glad you are done with your assignments. It was hard as a truckload. Congratulations, my friend, for all of your hard work. Here's 100 points. I hope that it's almost the least I could do. I could do less, but it's almost the least I could do. Because you, sir, are an excellent member of the crew. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for inspiring me to continue doing these things. So I'm so happy you're here. Let's review where we are. And then we're going to hop into what we want to get done today. So Skydriver here. We put together yesterday we put together we have 3 levels, and we put together a level select screen. That's a little ugly. Clean it up a little bit. But we can select our road. If you press escape, it goes back to the menu screen. All right, but it's loading roads from our text files. So we have level 1 like this. We got level 2 like this. We got level 3. So we got these nice little text files here. All right, so we can play through the levels as well. We've managed to get our bouncing and stuff a little bit more under control. So we can zoom through some tunnels. And if you go off the end there, into the void, stage is cleared, and we can play again, or we can select a new stage. All right, so we got various different levels. I wouldn't call it a variety yet, but we have various different levels like this here. All right, if you blow up, ooh, I managed to not blow up on that. That was interesting. Oh, fell through. Yeah, we reworked how. Can I blow up if I touched? Ye old Taurus King, good morning, my friend. Good morning, happy to have you here. Something that was interesting. Are these? Oh, God. Those do work. We just happened to bounce across it. I was moving fast enough that I managed to avoid the death sentence. Okay, so they do work, but there was a little bit of a glitch there where we bounced on it. Trying to beat my levels. I'm not good at this game at all. That's okay. We've cleaned it up quite a bit. Things feel much nicer now. The camera movement from left to right was nice. We've got a little bit, the background, I don't know if you've noticed, but the background, we fixed the collision there with not moving into things. But here we go. Let's see if I can beat level 2 so we can get to level 3. All right. Can have multiple exit tunnels, which is nice. Ye old Taurus King, how are you doing today? It's so nice to have you back. Welcome back to the crew. Happy Sunday. Welcome aboard. How are we doing today? Then road 3 is our level. There's actually no platform on the other side of this, so you gotta jump. Boom. Okay. So our fire platforms do seem to be working. I updated it off stream a little bit here to make all of the tiles stretch. So they're no longer square tiles. All of the tiles, and the game feels so much better. You've been waiting for me. Well, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. I'm glad you're doing well. Glad you're doing good. Maybe I shouldn't say well, but I'm glad you're doing good. I'm happy to hear that. But the game, yeah, so there was some like awkwardness in it. So I actually made it so I did a little bit of off stream. So real quick, let me show what we did off stream. Wasn't much. It wasn't much. In my level builder, I did a few things. I made our levels are no longer, was not an intentional Metal Gear Solid reference. Unintentional, but now that you've said it, oh no, it was definitely intentional, Corfless. Definitely intentional. Definitely. No, unintentional. Yesterday, off stream, I decided to make it so that the levels themselves are no longer limited to 7 wide. So yesterday we made the camera sort of follow the player left and right. So we can actually now, in our text files, they can be arbitrarily wide. So I did that off screen. So I'm gonna go over that real quick, just to show what I did. So the changes I made in our level builder. Previously, this was a constant 7. Instead of having max width, this variable here was just the number 7. So what we first do, and we're a little lazy here, we loop through our entire level and find the longest, the widest row. So it's going to tell us the maximum width, the width of our map. So we can have arbitrarily wide maps. Now you still start in column 3, so we might have to edit our level file type to specify, like, okay, well, where's your start X position? But I'm not worried about that for now. So I did that. So we have arbitrarily wide. And then I made it so it's a little optimization. We no longer include platforms of the none type because we're not using those to make the player fall anymore. So those don't get added to the scene anymore. We might put that back in later. And then that's essentially all I did in the level builder. I made it so we can have arbitrarily wide maps or thin maps. If you wanted to make a really thin map, you could as well. And then our level builder controller. Is that right? Level builder controller. Devro, welcome back, my friend. Happy Sunday. Welcome aboard. I also made it. Did I not do that? Oh, maybe I swear I did that. I thought I added in a Z scale. Whoa, my brain is... Hang on. Hang on. Did I not add in a Z scale? Let road 1. I really thought I did. Hang on. I gotta make a demo map here to make my brain happen. General Corfless. Exactly. Exactly. That's beautiful. I love that. Resources, demo level. Hang on. We're gonna chop this one out here. The tiles should be 1.5 width. All right, let's go to our level thing and load our demo level. Oh man. Scene, are these square? Oh, I really thought I made these scaled 1.5. I accidentally undid that change. All right, so we're gonna do that real quick. In our level builder control, I actually wanted the tiles to be 1.5 long. All right, so a little bit longer than they were. So I must have undid this. There was some stuff I did and then I did an uncommit. I reverted the changes, but the game just feels a little bit better if the tiles are slightly longer. So I want to make all the tiles 1 width and then 1.5 long. So not quite twice as long as they are wide, but 1.5. So we're gonna add that in real quick. So we're gonna add in a constant here, Z scale, and we're gonna set it to 1.5f. So I want it so you can like scale it more easily. We could do, so I was playing around with this number, but 1.5 felt really, really good. And then we just multiply all of our Z positions by this amount. So this became a multiple of times the Z scale. Oh, hang on. No, we left that. These here, times Z scale times Z scale. And then there's a couple other spots here. Or did I take it out because I couldn't get it to work? I swear I got this working, and it made the game just feel so much better. Z scale, and then Z scale here. All right, let's go see real quick. This should do it. I was playing with it last night. I couldn't help myself. There we go. So yeah, the platforms make them slightly longer, so you have like a little bit more reaction time on them when going forward. It just made everything feel a little bit nicer, so you could get going faster. That's really what it was. See, look how much easier that level feels with it longer, stretched out that way. Your ship can move a lot faster. Otherwise, I have to sort of draw the maps out bigger. And so this makes it so the maps don't have to be as long. And we still get the nice little effects here for the sections here. So all the gaps and stuff are bigger. Oh, I want to go to level 2. Let's go to level 2. Smab, my friend. Happy Sunday. Nice to see you. So happy you're here. I really, really like that robot emoji. Let's see. You've told me before where it's from. I think it's a C# stream. Is that correct? Smab, you'll be proud of me. I made it. We have arbitrarily wide levels now. Arbitrarily wide levels. C# Fritz, that's right. Oh, I want to get rid of that little bump there. So yeah, we made the tiles stretched 1.5. So they're tiles are 1 wide and 1.5. And it wasn't hard. It really wasn't that hard to do. So I'm glad we got that in. I don't have any arbitrarily wide levels yet, but my level format needs a little work. There are things about my level format I would like to fix, but I just haven't decided how to do it. I want to keep the format very, very simple for my students. So if I was making like if this wasn't a prototype, I think my level format would be a lot more interesting. Oh, I do have a minor parallax. So check, if you watch, the background is slowly getting bigger. The background is slowly parallaxing. I don't know if parallax is the right word. The background does move as you move towards the end of the level. So if we go off the end here, you'll see it is sort of moving. So I did that in. Devro, that's an excellent suggestion though. Excellent suggestion. I wanted it to be barely noticeable. That's right. It's there, but it's barely noticeable. And if you had a longer level, you would see it more. Exactly, Smab. So this is more than anything. Like I said, so I'm teaching a class here. This level format is explicitly designed for simplicity, and I'm kind of okay with hacked levels. I don't care that much. But it's designed for my students to be able to write a parser. This is sort of like the computational thinking aspect of this project, is write a parser for this level format. And so what I might do to sort of enhance it is make it so that way there is level 1. You can have like a couple different text files that are sort of your different metadata. So you have level 1, or have the file be like 3 times as long or something. So if you have a level1.txt, it just loads normally. But if it also finds next to the level 1 underscore colors, or level 1.png, it'll find colors and apply those colors to your tile. So that's one thing that I think would be really nice to add, is this generic tile. It'd be nice, and if we go look at the original Sky Roads, the generic tiles can have arbitrary colors. And then a third one would be nice, would be to be able to change the heights of the walls. And so you might have like a third one, or in your PNG file or something, make the alpha level somehow the height. That would be cool. Teleportation tunnels, I like that. Oops. Too bad I'm terrible at this game. Teleportation tunnels wouldn't be hard to do. I would, there's a lot of things. There's so many cool things to do. So the idea is to give my students a base game to implement, and then ask them to, so all of my projects sort of end, we give them a base game. And then I sort of say, I have like a list of ideas of like, now you have to go and add something else. Whatever you want, you have to add something. If you want to add new tiles, new tile types, maybe you make a bouncy tile when you go on and it launches you. Maybe teleporting tunnels would be nice. Maybe some sort of enemy in the scene, some moving platforms or something along those lines. But basically help, give them a project to implement the base game, and then ask them to be creative with it. And so that's sort of like the anti-cheat part. Boost ramps. Oh, I like the idea of having ramps too. But today, so this is our game. Here, I got to make a commit, because clearly I didn't commit that last night. Not hard to get in, but add in a scale factor feature. Add Z scale factor to level builder. Sync that up. All right, but what do we want to get done today? What do we want to get done today? I think I want to try and finish this prototype today. I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow. I have a really early meeting that I got to prep for, so I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. So ideally, we finish the prototype today in a way that it is, publishable, kind of. So I might, and then I want to put it on my itch page. But here are the 3 things we got to get done today: add a title screen, add music, and add sound effects. So a little bit of polish on it to make it feel nice, right? But the game is playable, and out of all the games I made, I actually think this is like the funnest, most fun of the games. Then the bonuses I have are updating our level format to support more interesting things. In this case, a format for having multiple soundtracks. So in your text file, just having a thing that says which musical track number. So we could add a couple different tracks, and then you can set which music you want. Same with a level format for background. Specify in the file, and I'm assuming I can do this just at the top of the text file, say track number is the first line. Then the next line is going to be, an image like reference. And then this would be the harder one, adding a ground color. So you could specify what color you want generic tiles in specific locations on the map. So those are the things that we're going to try and get done today. Definitely going to get these done. And then, like I said, tomorrow probably no stream, just because I have to deal with some work stuff earlier in the morning than I normally do. Okay. I have on OpenGameArt. Let's get OpenGameArt here. I've found some candidate music that we're gonna add into our project here. Let me get that open and logged in. OpenGameArt.org. And let me log in here. Just a moment. Bear with me, please. We're gonna do. All right, we're in. Hackerman's in. All right, so I've gone through and created a collection of potential music for SkyDriver. All right, so we're gonna check out some of these, And hopefully remember to turn our music back on later. But since we're going to add in music here, I really, really like, let's see. Turn up my own speakers. I think this is going to be sort of our title screen music. All right, so we're going to download this. Eerie space music. I once went to a music jam. So I'm a musician, and one of the guys that I was there with was like, "I want to play space music," and I was just going like, "What do you mean? We have guitars, drums, and keyboard. I don't know if we have the right instruments for space music." It was so funny to me. The drummer really wanted to do space music, and I was going, we don't have the right tools for this. Royal C-Dub Gaming, hello, my friend. Happy Sunday, welcome back. Welcome to the crew once again. How are you doing today? Let's see, how big is this file? We are working on adding in audio to our game. We're gonna add it. We're gonna write a little audio controller, I think. Mike, happy Sunday. Welcome back once again. Thank you for being here. Rel C-Dub Gaming just woke up. Well, I'm glad you've chosen Captain Coders Academy as the place to wake up for your Sunday morning I would like to say Sunday morning cartoons, but for your Sunday morning routine, perhaps? I'm not sure if routine is the right word, but welcome aboard. So happy to have you here, Royal C-Dub Gaming. And good morning to you. In our assets, we're going to create a folder. Nope, not in our scenes folder. Create folder, audio. And inside of that, we're going to have... What am I making exactly, Real CW? All right, so we are in the process here of making... hang on. This is a clone of the popular, beautiful, wonderful game Sky Roads. So it's a 3D platformer. All right, so it's a 3D platformer in which you control a ship. You can jump, you can fall into the abyss, and you can drive. There's platforms, so these red platforms, if you touch them, oops, hang on. Let's try again, I missed. These platforms, various platforms do different things. Those make you blow up, but I'm really bad at the game. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm terrible at the game. Let me try again. Jump, jump, jump. All right, so it's a platformer in which you are trying to get to the end of the level. And we've built oh my goodness. All right, let me go to an easier level. All right, we're gonna go to level 1. We have walls, we have tunnels. So the tunnels you can drive through, you fall off things, you can hop. And then in the last, there's an exit tunnel usually at the end, and you get stage cleared. And so we have a couple different levels. Smab, I do need an autoplay. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. It needs like the autoplay screen. So that's essentially what we have. We have 3 levels, but we also have, so the level file format's very, very simple. You take your levels and you can draw it out as a text file and then load it into the game. So that was like a big part of this project. So it's a class project. A big part of it is being able to take these text files, parse them in, and then convert them into a level. And so that's how we get our levels. So I think I'm gonna end up writing a level editor. I'm not gonna make my students write a level editor, but I think I'm gonna get a level editor for them. How did you do that? So I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to. When you're saying the level format, how did I do the level format? So we take this and then we have what's called a parser. All right, so our parser goes through. Yeah, so it's just a text file. I used a program to do it called Pablo Draw. So I used this program to edit these files. So if I switch to edit mode, I used this file, which is sort of like a drawing program, to edit these text files. But we have this level builder, which reads in the files and converts them into platforms, right? So it sort of reads through the whole file, converts them into platforms, and we have a level builder that knows how to place those platforms into a scene. And so one of the things that will be really cool is when you have this game, you can essentially have like a load level and someone just can copy and paste a level in or upload a file into the game to get it. So the idea is like, this would be kind of how you'd make a moddable game, a game in which people can do the custom levels. And I think that's really cool. Today, we're trying to add in audio, music, sound effects, and a title screen. We're trying to wrap it up today. Did I answer your questions, Royal CW Gaming? I hope so. If you need any more clarification, let me know. SMAB, 3 lines of code if you're writing it for AOC. Exactly. Okay. All right, but I love the questions. Thank you so much for asking. So we are in the process here. We're gonna add in, we have an audio folder. We're gonna have a music folder. And we're gonna add in Observing the Star. All right, so this is gonna be our title screen music, this little loop here. Oh no, yeah, so we're listening to it here. What do I teach? Good question, Royal CW Gaming. I am a computer science teacher. This is going to be a project for a class called Intro to Unity. So I'm teaching a class called Intro to Unity where it's really an object-oriented design class that's disguised as a Unity class. I'm not actually a real game developer, but these are my attempts. And so this is going to be the 3rd project in that class. This will be the 3rd one. And yeah, so I also teach a handful of other things, but that's one. How to Miss Royal CW Gaming? How do I join? Good question. So the school is ages 10 to 14. So it's a middle school. In the United States, a middle school, 10 to 14. This summer, I'm hoping to run some programs. This summer where I'm doing similar stuff. So stay posted for that. I got to figure out all the details. Normally I run in-person programs, but this year I think I might do some online remote programming, remote classes. Not 100% sure, but that's my goal. This year, my theme this year is the year of education and creating online educational content for programming, whatever that means. That's my overarching goal. All right, but we are listening to the Observing the Star loop. Royal C-Dub's new to programming. Awesome. What are you doing game development? You want to learn Unity. Excellent. Me too. I've only really been using, I've been programming for a long time, but I'm pretty new to Unity. So this has been my, attempts at learning Unity. But we're gonna add music here. We're gonna create a new scene. All right, we're gonna create a scene for our title screen. So to create a scene, I'm gonna go to my scenes folder. I'm gonna select scene here. I'm gonna call this title screen. We're gonna open that up. And I want to make sure that we add this into our build settings. This is gonna be the first scene we start. So I wanna drag that up to be scene 0. So this is our title screen. And I want to create just a UI. So I'm gonna switch this to scene mode. We're gonna switch to 2D mode for this scene. And we are gonna add in an image. It's gonna be sort of like the title screen image. Oh, should we do an image? For now we're gonna do an image. So I'm gonna add in an image. And we're gonna zoom out to our canvas. So this is what our title screen is sort of gonna look like. Click on game, we see it here. It's gonna be a full overlay, but I wanna set it to scale with the size of the screen. All right, so we'll keep it at 800 by 600, that's fine. But this image here, we're gonna add in an image for our title screen. And we're just gonna use the same image we've been using for everything for now, but we could use any image. All right, so in this case, I have one image in my sprites folder that I've been sort of using for everything. In my background is this solar background. And to add that image to the scene, we just drag it into the image here. So I select my image. That's going to then find the image component in the inspector, and I just drag the image and I get it. You'll notice it's pretty small. We can set it to the native size, which will blow it up to be the actual size of the image. And we're just going to adjust it. I've been using this image a bunch. We're going to adjust it so that way this part of the image is what we're using. And notice it sort of snaps to the top there, which is nice. And so this is going to be our title screen background. All right. And then we're going to add some text to it. Add some text in here. Call it Sky Driver. So we got our image. Actually, I'm going to say I want it aligned in the top center. I'm going to move it there. So this pivot lets us specify the relative locations of these things. All right. Next, we are going to add in, so I'm going to call this background. We're adding some text. Maybe we'll find some better fonts. Add some better font. But the one thing I really, really want on this page is to have the audio. All right, so that's our main focus here. And it turns out to be really, really easy to add an audio, but I'm going to create an empty object here. And I'm going to make this called our music. And all I really have to do is I go find my music file, and I can drag it onto that. And it adds this audio source into our project. And I'm going to say play on wake and loop. And so now this scene, when I start it up, we will have that eerie space music going. I hope you can hear it. It's pretty quiet. Oh yeah. So that's our intro. That's our title screen music. Okay, so not too bad. Let us keep some audio going while I work here. Okay, next I want to add in a title. So the game's called Sky Driver. I'm going to add in some text, UI text, and the text I want to add, I'm going to come back to my scene here so I can sort of see how it's going to be rendered on the screen. My text, I want to say Sky Driver, and I want this centered on the screen towards the top-ish. And so the way I'm going to do that is I select this, so I have my text here. I'm going to rename this to be title. And I can play around with this thing here. This sets what's called the pivot and anchors. This sets how these numbers are going to be relative. Right now it's centered to be on the center of the screen. So since I have 0, 0, that's the center of the screen. If I increase this, it moves it up. This is the Y position. When I decrease it, it moves it down. But I really want this to be relative to the top of the screen. So if I come into my anchors, I can say, well, let's make this relative to the top of the screen. And notice when I do that, the element doesn't move, but the position changes. So now it's saying, well, I'm negative 225 from the top. All right, and if I hit Alt while I'm in here and click it, it actually says, well, move myself up there. What's interesting is you'll notice it says negative 25. The negative 25, which might be a little bit confusing, but it's saying that's relative. And if I zoom in here, you can see it's saying relative to the pivot point of this object. And the pivot point of this object happens to be 0, 0, the center of it. And so if I hit Shift, I can actually say, well, I want the pivot point to be moved to the top. So now the pivot point's at the top of this thing, so it's 0. And now I can say, well, make it relative to the top. So do negative 25, gives us a little bit of space there. All right. It's a little bit ugly because that background's white, but we can modify that. We can fix it up. And I also want it to be centered. So instead of having it be in the top center, I'm going to use this one to say stretch it out. Stretch the whole thing across it. And then I'm going to say this text element, I want it to be centered. So it's going to center it. So if the size of my text changed, if the font size changed, it'll still sort of be in there. And I really like this auto size to say, make it as tall as this. And then you can sort of eyeball it with resizing. You're like, oh, I like that. I like that. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. The font's a little ugly. We can find some better font. To make it a little bit easier to read, do I want to, there's a couple things I could do. I think the best thing to do would be to just change the color. Let's see if I change, does this change the color? Yeah, so we can change the color to be a little bit different. Ooh, it might be kind of cool to give it like a glowing effect where it's sort of like changing. Let's try dark green. Ugh, that white background. We're gonna have to give it a, hang on. We're gonna give it a shadow. We're gonna give it a shadow. And so we can actually add in an outline to make it a little bit easier to read. There we go. Make it bold. I like it. All right, Skydriver, not the most beautiful thing. We could add in a new font. We might do that in a little bit, but that's not our goal today. Today's get this just the title screen on here. So we're gonna have Skydriver. The title screen is gonna have. Let's have this centered in the middle there as well. We are going to have it have sort of the credits. Put some credits in here. For like music, that sort of thing. But we'll add in a little bit of text in here for credits. And a button to play. All right, so the main thing is we want to add in a play button. So let's come into our canvas. We're going to add in a UI element here, button. A button. And this is going to be our play button. All right, and we'll just... Well, what should the play button say? You know, play feels a little bit uninformed, but maybe let's drive. The Skydriver, so we can do let's drive. All right, because we're cool like that. That's what all the cool kids say, right? Cool kids say, let's drive. All right, so we have a button, and just having it centered in the screen seems okay. We could also make it a little bit bigger and make that text again auto size. Ugh. Make it bold at least. No, don't resize the text. I want to resize the button. All right, so make it say let's drive. I'm gonna put that sort of down at the bottom center, like that, and then I'll move it up 25 pixels. So it'll be let's drive at the bottom. Maybe we'll get something to put in the middle there, I'm not sure. This would be a nice spot to have sort of the demo, right? Have a demo showing the gameplay. But we're gonna put in some more text here just to fill it out. And options, yeah. So we'll have an options menu as well. That might be something we want to do so that you can edit modify the sound, the audio, change how loud it is, change how the sound effects are. Let's add in some text as well. And this is going to be credits. All right, so we're going to add in some credits here. So credits. A 3D platformer by Captain Coder, inspired by the classic game Sky Roads. Okay, and let's shrink that font down to 16. But we're gonna add in art credits, that sort of thing as well. And we might end up hiding this in a menu somewhere, but for now, we're just gonna have this take up this screen here. We're gonna have it stretch out again. And then we're gonna give it some patterns. Say 50 on that side, 50, oop, wrong one. 50 on the right side, and a 3D platformer. Does that look okay? Looks all right. I'm not a UI-ologist. What's going on with that? Why is... There we go. 3D ship by Rave Ear. Credits. 3D ship by Rave. Music by, and then we'll have to add in various artist names, and then 3D backgrounds rendered with DALL-E. Okay, we'll have a sound effect. Sound effects by. So we'll leave a spot for those. So that's sort of our credits. Put this on the screen here. And maybe we have our ship sort of rotating or something. We'll do something interesting with that. So pretty simple, maybe an overly boring title screen here. But we'll figure out, we'll make it a little bit better in the future. Maybe. 24. There we go. Not horrible. All right, so the Let's Drive, we're gonna make it so when we click that, it's gonna load up the next scene. Okay, so let's add in an empty here called title screen controller. And we're gonna have to add a script that allows us to control things in the scene. So when we click this button, we need to execute some code. So to do that, we're gonna come down into our scripts and we're gonna create a folder for organization called title screen. And in our title screen, oh, let's put that in our controller folder. Hang on. Controller, title screen. We're gonna create a new script here. Title screen controller. And we're gonna attach it here. Oh, gotta let it load. Building. Title screen controller. And we're gonna modify this now. So we wanna make it so when we click that button, we're able to select something. Meneliki, my friend. Super Meat Boy, thumbs up right back at you. Good morning, my friend. Happy Sunday. Welcome back, welcome aboard. It's going really well. It's going really well. I'll give you a little bit of a demo. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're just adding a little bit of polish in here today, adding in some credits, doing some basics, adding in music, adding in sound effects, so a little bit of polish, make it nice and shiny, but not too shiny because I'm not that great. But I'll give you a little peek soon. But how are you doing? How are you doing, Meneliki? It's so nice to have you here. I'm gonna open up this script. We're gonna add in here. We need a method that transitions for us. So this is public void go on, play game. All right, and all this is gonna do is it's gonna load the next scene. So the transitions to switch scenes, we gotta do Unity Engine dot scene management. And we're gonna do scene manager dot load scene, and we just specify which scene we wanna go to, and this is gonna be our level select scene. So really simple method. When we click the button, we wanna call this method, which is gonna call load scene. Super straightforward. Meneliki, I'm so glad you're doing awesome, my friend. I'm very happy to hear that. CodeRad Games coming in. Woo! Raid! Anyone who has not seen CodeRad Games before, you gotta give them some love. Let's do a shout out here. Shout out CodeRad Games. Boom. CodeRad is a real game developer. Real quick, in that chat, go to that chat. Look at that. You see that little heart button? See that little heart button? Give it a click. Give it a click. Give CodeRad some love because the game CodeRad is making is fabulous. It is called Rogue Blight. You gotta check it out. You absolutely have to check it out. Real quick. Let's go find it. Rogue Blight on Steam. Rogue Blight on Steam. Click this link. Go check it out. Rogue Blight on Steam. Why can't I click anything? Rogue Blight on Steam. Click it. Scroll on down. Add this to your wish list. You're gonna want this game. You're gonna need this game. This game's gonna make life worth living for you. Right? I know CodeRad's a little embarrassed because this is not quite the scene, it's not up to date. You gotta, oh man, the new ape, that gorilla in this game is horrifying. I'm so excited for it. Soon. But go check it out. If you like Souls-like games, if you like RPGs, if you like 2D fun, this game's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited for it. Game of the year. Game of the year. All right. Yeah, so Code Red, how did your stream go? How'd your stream go? Did you manage to make progress? And Illegal Worker, thank you so much for the follow. I'm happy to have you here. Happy Sunday, my friend. I'm a computer science teacher, computer science programmer. Do not hesitate to ask me questions if you have them. My goal is I'm creating projects for the class I'm teaching. All right, so real quick, we're about to link up this button. So in Unity, to get a button to work, you add a button to the scene. So we got a button, it doesn't do anything yet. But if we click on that button, come down, find the button component in the inspector. You get to the on click, we're gonna click add here. And then our title screen controller, you'll notice there's not a way to access that button. But when we go into this button, if we add it into here, so this is what's our on click listener. If we add that bad boy in here, we can find the title scroller. Now we have the play game method accessible in the editor. So we say, when we click this button, we're gonna call play game. Code Red says, was adding first attacks, still lots of work left on it, mainly animating. Yeah, see, you're doing real game development, which means there's lots of real work. Here I am, like, oh, I pump this project out in about a week, but it's not really complete. It's just sort of like an educational project. So part of me is quite envious of what you're doing, but the other part of me is going like, that sounds like a lot of work. So like I said, Code Red Games is a real game developer. Go check out their stream if you can. If you didn't follow them yet, make sure to follow them. Their stream is awesome. I'm there. I think he streams almost every day. He streams a lot of the time during my lunch break, so I happen to catch during my lunch break. I feel like I'm learning a lot by watching his stream. Manaliki, pump it out in a week. Not really complete. Sounds like a AAA studio playbook. Absolutely. All right, so we added in music. So we have our title screen music. So there's some things that we want to do. I want to make the transition sort of fade out. So we have Skydriver. Let's drive. Oh, level select. And my scene is named something else. Hang on. Level space select. Okay. Level space select. Here we go. All right, but Menaliki was asking, how's the game going? Let's show you. Let's show you what the game is. All right, we click play here. I'm in the process of adding music. So we have some title screen sounds. Listen to that eeriness. Music's not by me. Music's not by me. I got the music off of OpenGameArt. This music's by YD, maybe you're pronounced Yid, Observing the Star. It's in the public domain, which means you don't have to give credit, but I absolutely will give credit. All right. So that's the only music we have so far. We're gonna add music to each of our scenes. One thing I don't like is when we're gonna click Let's Drive, it's gonna just die. The music goes away. So we need to create this idea of like, we're gonna fade the music out and then fade into the next scene. We'll figure out how to do that. Let's start up this other music while we're here. All right, so we have a level select. We've created 3 levels, Road 1, Road 2, Road 3. And so this is a 3D, what I'm calling a 3D action platformer. This game is inspired by Sky Roads. This is like you might consider this game a 3D runner game, right? So you drive your ship, you can hop, you can fall into the abyss, you can respawn. All right, so the goal is to get to the end of the level and drive through the tunnel. So we got some tunnels here that let us drive through, and then if you get to the end and drive through the tunnel, stage cleared. So that's level 1. Oh, I didn't mean to hit play again. Let's go to Road 2. Here's the second level. They're gonna get increasingly more difficult. I don't know how many levels I'm gonna add, but I need to make a slightly better level editor. We have some special tiles too, so I should show you that. So if we end up on one of these red tiles, assuming I can make it there, you blow up. All right, so red is fire. Fire bad. Fire burn. Makes our ship blow up. All right, so we have this. The cool part, I mean, there's a lot of cool things about this actually. One of the coolest things though is I'm really bad at this game. You might have noticed. I'm quite terrible. I'm quite terrible at the game. Yikes. One more time. I got it. I guess I could slow down. If I slowed down, I might be able to beat the level. All right, we're gonna slow it down. I had my partner, she played this and just beat it all essentially on her first try, and I was going, well, I guess I just suck. I'm that bad. All right, so we're gonna come here, hop over this, go through the tunnel, hop, hop. All right, so beat the second level, and then there's one more level, Road 3, and we'll play through this level now. Sky Roads is a classic, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out. So we've been working on this for about a week. If you include yesterday, we've been working on this for about 18 hours. All right, so 18 hours, not bad. Turned into a class project, which will be about 6 lessons. So I think this is going to end up being 6 classes for students to build what we have here. 6 classes plus homework. And then open-ended a little bit for them to create levels, add features to it. So that's the game. The thing that's particularly, I don't know if interesting, but I think is really cool is that our level format is a text file. Our level format's a text file like this. So it's relatively easy to add new levels. So that's one of the things I wanted to do in this class. They're like, well, this is how you would make it so that you could build like an editor outside of Unity for doing this. And I might do that. I'm not sure. Right now, to make these levels, I've been using this program called Pablo Draw, which is sort of a ASCII art drawing program. So it lets me select things like I can select groups of text like this, copy, paste it in this way, add text as squares. So much, much easier than editing in a text editor like this, which is very, very painful. Another alternative is that you could potentially have it drawn as pixel art and then take the colors and translate those into tiles, which I think would be really, really fun to do as well, but outside the scope. The real thing is I wanted students to go through the process of building a parser that is relatively simple, but does something interesting. In this case, we parse in the level and translate it into these levels. All right, so today our goals, we're gonna add in a title screen, which we've done. We're gonna add in music and I wanna make the music a little bit nicer. So we have a couple different tracks. So that's our title screen music. ITC Studios, happy Sunday, my friend, welcome aboard. It's so nice to have you here, so nice to have you back. Anyone who doesn't know, real quick, ITC Studios is also a streamer and is a artist, game developer. They are in the process of creating a 2D side-scrolling RPG, which looks awesome. It looks super good. Their art is amazing. Their art is the best pixel art I've seen people, I don't watch a ton of streams, but it's the best pixel art I've seen. I absolutely love it. Go check them out. ITC Studios has some beautiful stuff. Real quick, come back to the chat, hit that heart, give them some love. You got to check out their stream. Beautiful pixel art, fast, absolutely good, absolutely awesome. And it's a fun stream, great community over there as well. But watch them work. Hang out, chat with her. She's a fantastic streamer. All right, so I want to add in a couple more tracks. Their game looks amazing. Absolutely. Feel free to post some links, ITC. If you want to promote your game, do not hesitate. Feel free to post some links. I don't have any links of yours bookmarked, so otherwise I would show it off for you. All right, so we're going to come back to Open Game. We're going to download a couple more audio things. I think this was going to be my level music. That feels good, right? I think I'm going to download all of these and add them to like a track manager. But yeah, this is going to be our game, when you're in the level. Okay. This one's a CC, Creative Commons by 3.0. So there is attribution required on this one. But that loop is not too bad. Nice and short, nice small file. So we're going to download that and add it to our game. So in our music, in our audio, and then it's coming along great, ITC Studios. Thanks for asking. Blue Beat, we're going to call this track 1. 01 blue beat. Let me show you. Let me add this music to the level scene real quick. So let's go to the level scene. Level. Let's save this. We're gonna add in music, create empty music controller. And for now, it's just gonna have this one track on it, but we're gonna get more clever with it in a moment, and we're gonna loop it. Okay, so here's our level scene. Let me go back to my title screen. We're almost done. I think we're gonna finish today. Real quick, let's save here. Real quick, I wanna check out your image. I wanna show it off. Give me a moment here to open it up. If you haven't clicked it, so you're a fool. You gotta go click that link, check it out. But I'm gonna show it off here for you. Let's see here. Can I do this? There it is. Look at that sweet pixel art. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. All of these buildings, you can go watch her work on these in the stream. I find it amazing to watch her work on this stuff. I have Aspret as well. She does it in Aspret, I believe. And just learning little tricks that she does with layering and how her process. I'd love to be a better artist. It's on my list of my never-ending list of things to do. But I picked up some tricks for pixel art stuff that I'm hoping to use later. Yeah, it's super cool. Super cool. Go check it out. All right, so here's SkyDriver. We just added in a little bit of music. So here's the title screen. Added in some credits here. Ooh, this is the best title screen anyone's ever seen, isn't it? All right, so we added in some music. Click Let's Drive. Then we're gonna go to level 1. So we essentially have, all that music fits nice. I just gotta make the music sort of fade between scenes properly. Yeah, so we have a little level selector. So really, really simple first level. So here's, you'll notice the sound cuts out there. So we're gonna do some tricks to keep our audio saved between scenes. So we're gonna keep the audio saved between scenes. But yeah, it's a functional game. It's a functional game. We've worked out a lot of the kinks where, you know, driving into things, you can fall off. If you go too fast, you're done. All right. But we've got little special platforms if we, oh, I missed it. I was gonna try and jump on those fire platforms. Fire platforms kill you. There's one up here we're gonna land on. There's a little bit of a glitchiness. Sometimes you can fall through them. But boom, the fire platforms get you. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. I'm really, really happy with how this has come out. I should have gone on the left platform there. It's always a trap. All right. All right, so we made it. Like that. Yeah, so we've been working on this, like I said, about 18 hours. About 18 hours. A little bit less if you don't include all the chit-chatting. But the class project, I think, is going to be a six class periods to get the whole thing. 6 1-hour class periods plus homework time to get this project done. So I'm really, really happy with how small I managed to keep it small. Lots and lots of great ideas coming from people, for sure. But the scope creep in this could be for real. The audio work came out really, really nice. I really like it. So what we're going to work on, though, what we're going to try and do here, and we're at an hour. We've just gone for an hour, so I'm going to take a break in a moment. But the goal, what I want to do is I want to make this music controller, rename this music controller. This is sort of gonna be like a global object that moves with us between scenes. So the music doesn't stop. We can have it like fade in and fade out and also control our sound effects for us. So we're gonna have a little menu where you can change the music level, sound effects level, and then this music controller, we need to keep it moving between the scenes. Okay. That said, we're going for about an hour. I am out of coffee. I'm almost out of water, so we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna come back, we're gonna do some stretches, and then we're gonna work on doing transitions between scenes. Maybe add in a little fade so that it fades between the scenes. We're gonna learn how to use the Scene Manager Load Async, which I've never used before. And so it's going to be fun. Fun little learning experience for us. Hang tight, grab onto something, hold tight, and I'll be right back. All right, we are back. We have a freshly brewed cup of delicious Don Francesco coffee. We got the vanilla nut bean coffee, black, no cream, no sugar. Piotr, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome aboard, my friend. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the stream. We are working on Skydriver. Skydriver. Not Screwdriver. Skydriver. But we just got back from a break, And so you know what that means, everybody. We're going to do some stretches. We're going to do some stretches. You got to take care of your body. If you want to be a programmer, if you want to sit at a computer all day, you got to take care of yourself. So if everyone would please stand up. Get up for me. Stand up. If you're sitting down, stand up. We're going to do some stretches. All right, so what I want you to do, you got to take care of your body. Don't want those repeated stress injuries, RSIs. We're going to stretch up. We're going to reach up as high as you can. Get up on those tippy toes. Reach up to the sky and hold it. Get that nice stretch in your body. Get that blood flowing. Gonna hold this for another 20 seconds here. All right. You should love your body. This is loving your body. The way your body deserves to be loved. It's treated you well your whole life. Why not treat it well too? All right. And bring it back down. We're gonna roll down. And hang from the hinge at your hips and just hang down. If you can touch your toes, that's beautiful. If you can't touch your toes, no big deal. Try and get that stretch out. We're going to hang here for 30 seconds. Hang. Oh, doesn't that feel great? Doesn't it feel good to give your body a little stretch, a little bit of love? You've been sitting all day. I've been standing all day. I have a standing desk. But if you've been sitting all day, it's nice to get up. Stretch that body out a little bit. Give it some love. Like I said, you deserve to be loved. You're here. The captain loves you. And you should love yourself. All right. And then roll up slowly. Bring it back up. We're going to do some shoulder rolls now. All right. We're going to start with the right side. All right. So we're going to shoulder roll. We'll do some small shoulder rolls, just little ones. And then bring in the elbow. Bring the elbow and do the elbow back 4 times. Then we're going to do a full arm. 2, 3, 4. And let's go forward. Just a little shoulder roll forward. 2, 3, 4. Put that elbow in there. Ooh, yeah. Get that blood flowing. 3, 4. Full arm. All right. Then we're going to switch sides here. 2, 3, 4. All right. And little shoulder roll back on the left side there. 2, 3, 4. Get that elbow in. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. Ooh, this one's good. We're going to do this one a couple extra times because I got a little bit of... You guys may have noticed each time I do this one, I have a little bit of a crunch here. Doesn't hurt, but it feels good. If it hurts, something's going wrong. Let's go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the elbow. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. 2, 3, 4. All right, good. Let's check it out. Shake those wrists out. Get that blood flowing back to your fingers. We're going to do one more stretch because I want to stretch out my calves. I'm going to stretch out my calves. So I'm doing a nice little calf stretch. I have a little couch over here. I'm putting my leg up on to give myself a nice calf stretch. Don't worry too much if you can't get a nice calf stretch. Maybe stretch your quads, whatever you think is going to work best for you. But we're doing a stretch here. Hold it for 20 more seconds. ITC, welcome to lurking mode. I hope you get something delicious to eat. I'd love to know if you're eating something delicious. I'm a foodie. I would love to know what you're eating. Yesterday for lunch, what did I make yesterday for lunch? No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I made a bowl of curry mushroom udon noodles, which is, so good. So good. All right. That's a nice stretch. We're going to switch now to the other side. But get yourself nice and limbered up here. Treat your body well. I hope you're all stretching with me. I hope you're all stretching here with me. Treating your bodies the way they deserve to be stretched. Ooh, this one's really good. It's interesting. Sometimes, the stretch feels a little bit different on each side. But boy, does it feel good. All right. 5 more seconds. And then we're going to get back into it. All right. Bring it back up. Oh, I hope that felt good. I hope everyone here did some stretching with me. And if you weren't able to do some stretching, that's okay. That's okay. I hope you get that blood flowing one way or another. That said, for joining me in this beautiful stretch, I'm just going to assume everyone here joined me in that stretch. We're going to go and give everyone here 50 points for stretching with me. Thank you so much. All 16 of you. Thank you so much for joining me in that stretch. But we're going to hop back into it here. Skydriver. we're working on creating a music controller. We want this to transition us with us between scenes. Illuminati, happy Sunday, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back to the crew. How have you been? What have you been up to? Oh, the other benefit of stretching is gives my coffee just enough time to cool off. Just enough to cool off to not be so spicy. Spicy bean water. That's what I like to call coffee. Ooh, what's your project, Illuminati? What project are you working on? Okay, so Skydriver, we're working on getting this music controller to transition between scenes. So I think we can do something like the following that says like, keep the object. And it says, I currently have an ocean that I can swim in and an island that I can run around. It's a first-person shooter horror project. That sounds really cool. Does it have a name? Does it have a name? Do you have any links to share? One sec, before you try and share a link, my bot here is gonna be upset. But if you have a link to share, let me know and I can give you some, I can like set it up so you can share those links. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Don't post the links just yet. Stream, I think I can add you as someone who is allowed to post links though. Give me a moment here. Gotta find it. And are you using Unity? Are you doing it in Unity? Illuminati? I'm sure people here would love to know more. I definitely created Discord for the game to ideate with interested players. Don't have a link yet. Gotcha. Yeah, I would love to know more. Do you have like do you have any other projects you'd like to share? Let's see, how do I add? All right. Anyway, if you want to share a link, let me know. I know I can give you 60 seconds of privilege, but I know there's a way I can add you in here as a regular as well. But I'll look into that. I need to figure it out. All right, but we're so glad to have you here, Illuminati. But yeah, if anyone's interested, and you know, I would love. You can also join my Discord and post in ideas there too. If you want to promote it, feel free to join my Discord. I don't know if you're on my Discord yet, but here is a link to it. All my other projects were mobile in hyper casual and casual. So this is kind of a passion project. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, there's a big disclaimer here. I'm not a game developer. I like games. I'm teaching an intro to Unity class, so I'm learning how to use Unity so I can, you know, I'm disguising my class. My class is an object-oriented program class that's disguised as a Unity class. But Unity's been really, really fun. I've been having a blast now that I'm digging into it. In the past, I've sort of been like, Unity has a lot of bad practices, isn't it? No, Unity has great practices. It's just there's a lot of tutorials that teach bad practices. So it's important to explain that sometimes from a demonstration purpose in a lot of tutorials, it's okay to like learn the mechanics, but it's not necessarily good software engineering for a larger project. Okay, where were we? All right, we were gonna learn how to keep objects around. So I think you can do something with the scene manager move game objects and move a game object from its current scene to a new scene. So you can move scenes. I think there's a way to make it so that way you can also, an object doesn't get deleted when it changes scenes. What does this look like? Move game object scene. We're gonna read a little bit of documentation here. Unity move game object to scene. Yes, Meneliki says, Unity has such a huge user base that invariably some of the tutorials that show up on YouTube are less than stellar. Yeah, so I actually feel like most of them are less than stellar from what I have seen. There's a lot of anti-patterns being taught, and so you end up, I have had students in the past, you know, so I never taught a Unity class specifically, but in the past I've had students come with their Unity projects and they're kind of a nightmare of mess because they've been following tutorials and just sort of like kludging things together. So the tutorials don't, for the most part, I haven't seen a tutorial that tries to teach good practices in game development. Even people like Brackeys. Brackeys has a lot of good tutorials for mechanics, but you know, Brackeys, all of the tutorials have you doing public variables, using anti-patterns, using giant singletons to manage state. And so I just think it's important to tell people, hey, this is just for this very, very small project. We're going to do it to teach you the mechanics. In a larger project, we need to be able to manage complexity. Okay, move game object. It moves a game object from its current scene to a new scene. Can only move root game objects from one scene to another. This means that the game object to move must not be a child of any other game objects in its scene. This only works on game objects being moved to a scene that is already loaded. If you want to load single scenes, make sure to use do not destroy on load on the game object you would like to move to a new scene. Otherwise, Unity deletes it when it loads a new scene. Okay, so we need to tell it to not destroy on load. All right. Yes, so based on this description, so Manaliki says, on that very note, I'd never seen move game object to scene. I've been using don't destroy on load for this application. Is one preferable? According to the description here, it's sort of preferable to use don't destroy on load. I think that actually is going to make things a little bit easier. I just had never seen that. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a music controller script. We're going to come down to our controllers, and we're going to create a folder here for music. It looks like don't destroy on load is the preferable one. The other thing is this is only for additive scenes. So it's like I think if you nest a scene inside of another scene, you can move it inside of that one. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm quite new. I've been using Unity. I keep saying things. So I'm on day 29 of using Unity essentially. I hacked a bunch of stuff in the last year for some game jams, but this is the first time I've really dug in to any sort of actual, you know, trying to do things in a smart Unity way. Call this audio. And inside of audio, we're going to create a script. This is going to be our music controller. Okay. Let's open this up. I'm going to put it in a namespace here. Namespace Sky Driver. Daniel is going to try updating my PC. Very well. Good luck. Good luck. Updating like a new version of Windows, or just update like Windows has some updates. Sometimes I get scared when I do updates. Like I updated OBS recently. I was going like, is this gonna break anything? Luckily it did not. Skydriver dot audio. Music controller. So I think what I want to do, and can we do this? Game object dot don't. Where is this method? Don't destroy on load. Is that part of Scene Manager? Come back over here. Daniel says, updating components in Windows 11. None of the components ever went past 0%. Eee. And it's really annoying. That sounds really annoying. Is it scene manager don't? Where's the don't destroy? Make sure on the game object. I bet it's this way. I bet that's just a built-in don't destroy on load. This. All right, so we're going to say that this object is not going to get destroyed. So it's going to sort of move from scene to scene. And I kind of want this to be a singleton, right? So we're going to try and follow a singleton-esque pattern, which I don't quite know how I'm going to do yet. But the idea is this thing should move between scenes. Mentally, there's a small nuance / caveat to using don't destroy unload for this application. I think you will find it. All right, well, we'll find out. Use our music controller here. So let's go into, my idea is that this thing is just gonna follow us from scene to scene. And one thing I think I need to do is sort of say, okay, if such and such thing, we're gonna add a tag, I think, as well. We're gonna add a tag called music controller. And the music controller, this way when a scene loads, we can do a thing where we say, if there's no music controller in that scene, create one. Daniel says, one of my components already failed. Oh, no bueno. That's no bueno. All right. Ah. Why is everything so zoomed in? Oh my goodness. All right. Let's try that. Okay. Music controller. Let me tag with our music controller. I guess I could also see if we can find this music controller shit. And I'm curious. All right, so I've added this in here. Oh, it changes it to call, oh, it moves it into a thing. Ah, so it adds a scene called Don't Destroy Unload. Interesting. Interesting. I've never, you know, so I guess I could read some documentation on this. Let's look up don't destroy unload Unity. Yeah, so I want to make it a singleton, right? So we want to do sort of this thing. We're going to have a public static music controller instance. All right, so a singleton. What is a singleton object? If you've never heard the word singleton, now might be a good time to pay attention because this is something I haven't done in a game yet. Singleton objects say you only ever want one of these things. All right, so we're gonna create something called a music controller instance. Okay, and the music controller, that's this thing. We're gonna create a static. So this sort of says like static is saying global, exists on the class, not the object. We're gonna make this a property that has a get, like this. And the first time we go to get it, there's gonna be another variable. This is gonna be a private one. This is the actual instance. And if we're following good C# practice, it starts with an S underscore, like this. Okay. And what we do is the first time we get it, we say, if the instance is null. Well, this is interesting. In fact, we're just going to return s.instance like this. And I guess we'll have a private set here. All right, and the set is going to just do s instance equals value. But when we start up, the first time we start, we say if s instance is null, we are going to initialize s instance. In fact, I don't even need this set here, I don't think. S instance is equal to this. All right. And then we're set it to be don't destroy unload. Else, all right, so if we already have one of these things, if one of these things already exists, we kind of don't want this object. So I'm just gonna say destroy this dot game object. If we try and create another one, we destroy it. So don't destroy this. Otherwise, we're gonna destroy. Is this what I want? I think this is what I want. This should ensure that we only have one in existence. If it's equal to null, we do this. Else, if here's what we're gonna do actually. If this dot game object is not equal to s instance dot game object, then we're gonna destroy it. Oh, that's a good point. I do probably want this to do awake. Awake and start are very similar. Awake's gonna come before. Nobody says you want to use awake. You want void awake rather than start. You're probably right. I don't think it's a particularly big issue either way, gonna make this protected as well to get rid of that warning. Good point. Good point. I think you're right. But yes, you're correct. Awake happens before start. All right. So the idea is this thing sort of follows us between scenes. And I believe that if I put multiple in a scene, all right, so the idea now is in my level select screen. Let's see if I can copy this. In my level select scene, I should be able to have a music controller in it. And if I go from my title screen, save. If I go from my title screen to my level select screen, it'll just destroy the music controller. I'm pretty sure. That's what I'm trying to do, maintaining as a singleton. So if I click Let's Drive, yeah, it just deletes it. It says, okay, there's already one of these things. Let's get rid of it. All right, so which means that in my level screen, we just got to make this thing have the music controller on it. And now we sort of go through and we say, okay, well, now that I have this static boy right here, this instance, I can actually, in my different controllers, I can set the music. I can set the music relatively easily. But if I start up here, one second, let's try it real quick. I get my music. And if I go back, I don't lose it, right? So now I should be able to do some stuff where I fade the music out and transition. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's do a commit. We added in a music controller. We added in a bunch of stuff, apparently. We added a title screen and a music controller. All right, beat. Add title screen plus music controller. All right, we're gonna commit and push. Did we finish one of our goals? We did. Title screen, done. Music's a little bit more complex, but we're done with our title screen. Happy with that. And since all of you are here to witness this momentous occasion, 50 points to Gryffindor. Add points. There you go. All 16 of you, thank you for witnessing this momentous occasion. We've made progress. It's good golly dosh. We got it. Okay, so now I want to, in our music controller, I want to add a method. What's interesting here, I think what I want to do actually is when we call, I do want to do something here, I think. This is interesting. My get. Right, here's what I want to do. We're going to say, eventually we're going to return s.instance, return s.instance. We're going to say, I have an idea. If s.instance is null, so if it's null, we're going to create one of these. We're going to do new game object, music controller, like this. Game object, music controller. Then we're going to do music controller.add component, music controller. Oh. So this will actually, I'm curious if this will work. I have a thought. I have a thought here. I've never done this, so this is new. Sometimes I have bad thoughts. Thoughts that are not great. All right, so music controller, one sec. We got to say requires component audio source. So it requires an audio source, type of audio source. All right, so it's going to require an audio source. And I want to do the following. I want to see if this will work. If I go into my title screen and I delete this, all right, I'm going to delete this. It's not what I wanted. Zoom out for me, too far. There we go. in my title screen controller, I want to try the font public or protected. Let's put this at the bottom. Protected void awake. When this thing wakes up, can I set the music? I can do music controller. So this, I need to import this namespace. So using skydriver.audio, music controller dot instance dot, and ideally I'd have like a set sound or something. Set track or start track, and I'm going to put in 0 here. So we're going to add a method real quick to music controller. This is going to have a public method, public void start track int ID or number, something along those lines. Right, I just need this so that I can find it. Exactly. Nobody says, can you make an audio source array that contains the songs? If the song index is length of array, then restart the array. Yeah, so the idea here is rather than making an audio source, I think, let's take a look at what it looks like real quick. Instead of making an audio source, we make it an audio. So when I add this, hang on, when I add this to the screen, instead of an audio source, it's going to be audio clips. So it's going to have it's going to have an array of audio clips to select from, and then it just sets which clip is playing. But I want to actually have a fade in and fade out. So when you change tracks, it's going to actually have 2 audio sources, and one of them is going to be lowering, and the other one's going to be turning on. So as we transition between two tracks, it sort of fades out and fades in, and they sort of like will overlap briefly as they fade between the two. That's my goal. That's how I want it to work. Good question. But yeah, we're gonna have an array of audio clips instead of audio sources. And then we'll sort of have 2 audio sources. One of them's gonna be like now playing, and then the other one's gonna be like the cue. So it's gonna like fade in, and then they sort of swap, right? Which one's working. So we're gonna try and do something interesting in that regard. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do here yet. Because we need like this idea of a sound database to load the track. But what I wanted to see is, I don't have it in my scene, but I'm curious when I hit play here. If I don't have one in my scene, it just creates a music controller for us. That's what I wanted to have happen. So as our singleton, I can actually access it. So I can do, in my title screen, I just do music controller.instance.start track. So it's like this is a true singleton. You should have one audio controller. And it says, if I don't exist, make me. If I don't exist, make one. And it's going to add it to the scene, and it's going to have this audio clip, this audio thing attached to it. I need to figure out how to get all of my audio clips registered in here. So I have this idea of tracks to use. Which normally I'd like drag them in, so I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna do this. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna do it, but I know I can do the following. I know this thing has an audio source on it, so I can create a variable. And I'm actually gonna make this a property right below our static stuff. Private audio source. I'm just gonna call it audio source. Maybe I shouldn't call it audio source. I'm always torn between this, and this is just gonna be a getter that says get component audio source, like this. So it's just gonna grab that thing, and so I can do the font. I should be able to do audio source dot clip, and I should be able to set the clip and start playing. I just need a way to look it up. So in this case, we're gonna have a track. So we will have, yes, I'm not sure how to find it. I could put it sort of in my resources folder. So you can load stuff from resources. part of me wants to know if I can make a prefab that is sort of like our track database, our music track database. Let's see. Load Unity, load prefab from script. How do you load a prefab? I don't want it to be in resources if I can get away with it. Instantiating prefabs at runtime. Prefabs come in very handy when you want to instantiate complicated game objects or collections of game objects at runtime. Compared with creating objects from scratch using code, instantiating prefabs using code has many advantages because you can instantiate prefab using one line of code. Creating equivalent game objects from scratch requires many more lines. Exactly. Okay. Basic instantiation. To instantiate a prefab, start track. Daniel says, yesterday I also wanted to play some excellent games but ran out of time. 6 hours goes by fast. I know, sometimes I'm streaming and then suddenly I've been streaming for 5-6 hours. I'm trying to stick to like 3 to 4, just because it's kind of exhausting going that long. But I have to put it here. Can I set a prefab? All right, so I don't want to have to do this. This is the part that I don't want to have to do, is have my tracks in this way. And that's annoying. All right. Can I find, so I want to be able to find a prefab. All right. Load prefab contents, prefab utility. Public static game load prefab content string asset path. Okay. Loads a prefab asset at a given path into an isolated scene and returns the root game object of the prefab. This is what I think I want. Okay, so I'm going to try the following. This is what I really, really want. You tell me what you want, what you really, really want, and I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want a prefab with all my audio tracks. So we're gonna create a prefab here. It's gonna be called our music track database. It's our music track database, and we're gonna create a script for this. Illuminati, it's a nice little smile you got there. What you laughing at? What you laughing at? I wonder. All right, database. Create a script called music track database. Smab says, that's why I'm playing Xbox games whilst I'm watching. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. Exactly. Music track database. All right, so this, we're going to put it in our namespace, skydriver.audio. Right, and we will format this. And this database is going to have a list, an array. Let's do public, private. No, it's going to be a public. Yeah, it needs to be public, so we want to access it elsewhere. Public audio clip tracks. And we'll make it a get set like this, and then we serialize it. Field, serialize field. Okay. And then we're going to add into our music track database. Should I just call this music track database? I should probably call this audio clip database. But our music track database is going to have a track database on it, and then we can add in tracks. All right. So we're going to add in some tracks here. Nobody asked, what if you create a dictionary that searches the music by the music's name, then you search for a string and play that song? We could do that too. We absolutely could do that. So one of the things I want to keep it relatively simple and baby proof, idiot proof for myself. One of the things I want to eventually be able to do, and maybe we should have it be by name, but we have these level files like this, and what I want to do is make it so that the very first line is just an integer that's the track number that you want to play. So the format's gonna be the first line is the track number. Rather than having a string, because then a string can be arbitrarily, bad, and we're just gonna modulus it. So if someone puts like 27 here, we're just gonna mod and say, okay, well, track 27 actually is track 7 or whatever it happens to be. We could do it that way with a dictionary. I'm gonna do it. So we've done that with our platform database. Our platform database works that way. So we have our platform type to our entries, and then we take this string and we convert it between the two. So we could do it that way, but I'm not. So the answer to the question is, I'm keeping it a little more simple. So it's like a CD player track where it has like the track number. Although I don't know if people actually know what a track number is these days. Nobody says that. I'm saying I want to make it simple. Simple. Simplify. Exactly. I want to make it simple, and then I add in. Also, here's my astrology star map. Correct. I'm trying to keep it simple compared to the RPG. Adventure Quest got out of control. Music here. All right. So fun thing. A little thing I learned is we can do the following. If you right click, this is something I learned. Moon has taught me this. If you right click on an element and you click properties, you get a little pop out here. So we're going to be editing our music database. I got my little pop out. And so now I can go over to my music, and if I click on it, I don't necessarily lose it because I have it over here. I'm gonna say, okay, well, track 0 is our title screen. And then track 01 is our blue beat. You're right, though. I could potentially have it take in a string as well, and I could actually just search for the name of the clip, I'm pretty sure. So I think our clips, private void test, tracks of 0 dot name. Yeah. So you can actually get the name of the track, I'm pretty sure, here as well. So we could do something like that, which wouldn't be too hard. Game object find, yes. So my goal is I want to be able to load the track database. All right, so on our music controller on awake, it's going to have so this thing's going to have a private music track database tracks. All right, and when we wake up, we need to go load this thing. I'm gonna load it. Prefab utility dot. Where is it? Prefab utility. Is this an editor only? That would be sad. You can use this to get contents of prefab and modify it directly instead of going through an instance of the prefab. This is useful for batch operations. It's part of Unity editor, so we can't use this. Which is pretty annoying. Oh, I think, well, let's see. Prefab, hang on. Prefab utility. Yeah, it's part of the editor scripts. Maybe I can't do it this way, and we actually do have to attach. I could potentially move these into resources and load them. It's a little bit annoying. I really want to load prefab Unity assign prefab in script. But then I have to, so the problem I have with that is then I have to add it to every scene, right? I have to add that prefab to every scene to make sure it's there. And if I forget to add it, it makes me sad, right? I want the music controller to be able to say, okay, well, I just need to go, I need to have one of these things. And I, add it to myself. And the track database, I don't want to, in my editor, I have to like drag all those things in multiple times. And I want to be able to go get that prefab. Yeah. Without drag and drop. Can I do it this way? How can I prefab that one or have it anonymous? I know that's signing inspector, but how do you change it from runtime? Can do by making use of resource folder. So maybe I can put it in my resources folder. Let's try that. There's some caveats with using stuff in your resource folder though, which I don't know if it'll work for WebGL, but let's try this. Move our music track database into our prefabs. All right, so I'm curious whether or not we can do this. So our music controller on awake is going to do the following. It's going to update the instance, and it's going to say tracks is going to be equal to resources.load, and this is going to be a music controller from prefabs / music track database. Yes, but what if I want to just load my level scene, right? What if I want to just to test something in my level scene? I don't want to have to go back. I don't want to have to click on my, so Menelik is saying, drag drop my prefabs onto the database object in the main menu. But then I always have to start my game from the main menu. If I'm testing something, I have to start from my main menu. This should be a music track database. All right, so I'm curious if I can do this. I'm curious if I do this. No, absolutely, Meneliki. Oh, you say, I see what you're doing. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'll stop side seat programming. No, please do. That's how I learn. That's how I get better. I want people to question what I'm doing because I don't always, so this could be like a really stupid thing that I'm doing. This could be a really, really stupid thing that I'm doing in here, right? So please, tell me I'm dumb. All right, let's serialize this so we can see it. Or we should be able to see it in debug mode. Serialize field. Yeah, I love when, so I know a lot of people don't like backseat programming. I love when people backseat program with me. It's the ultimate pair programming experience. I love it. That's one of the reasons I've been enjoying streaming so much, because I get so much feedback from people. Tracks. Oh, I was hoping to see it. Maybe I could do the following actually. Instead of can I instead on my music controller? It's adding a tracks thing, but I'm not exactly sure. All right, so when we wake up, tracks is equal to that, but I'm also gonna do game object.add component tracks. I think this is what I want. Can I not dot? Can it for? Music track database. Add component. Can I not add game object dot add component? Music track database. Music track database. Jackie. Good morning, Jackie. Every day with a better, every day's emoji is better than the last. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Royal C-Dub, welcome back. Happy to have you. Jackie, how are you doing this morning? Happy Sunday. It's so nice to see you again. I love when you're here. Oh, that's what this is. I could do it this way. Because this thing is actually a new... This is so interesting. I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for asking. All right. Real C-Dubs Games asks, how long will the stream be? I will be going, I think, at least another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I want to finish this game today. So I'm hoping another hour and a half to 2 hours will be enough time to do that. But we're hitting a little bit of bumps here, so it might be a little bit longer. Because I'm not streaming tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be here for at least another hour, maybe 2. It's a prototype, Jackie. It's a prototype. So finish is a strong word. It'll be playable. It'll be fun, and then I'm gonna massage it into a classroom project from there. Can I do this? Tracks equals progress. Yeah, absolutely. Progress is progress. Okay, I'm gonna try the following. I'm gonna do this. And we call start track. Add the music controller. I'm really curious if I can do tracks. All right, so we're gonna do audio source. Yeah, I use Royal C-Dub. Excellent question. I go live almost every day. I do wake up and code almost every day. Tomorrow I have a meeting with work earlier than I normally do. So normally I go live around 7 a.m. Eastern time every day. Almost every day. So we're gonna do clip is equal to tracks of ID. And we'll do a mod thing there, and then we'll do audio source dot play. We're gonna try this. See if this will work. I'm really not sure. Art, good afternoon. Good morning to you. It's almost 7 a.m. here. Yes, we're coding up our music controller today. Okay, so that does work. We can set the track that way. No worry, Real C-Dub Gaming. I do. You can always catch it later. Does this command work? I stream to YouTube as well, and so all of the streams get archived. So you can always go back and rewatch if you want to, in case you want to say, well, how did the captain do that? You can always go back and check it out. But I will be streaming again next weekend. All right, so our audio controller does let us do this, so we can load it this way, which is nice. So we can actually have our track database, and I think we're gonna make this private, and instead we're gonna add a method here called audio clip get track. I hate to call it get track. We'll just call it track. And it's gonna take in an index, and it's gonna return a track to us. All right, so it's gonna do tracks.length or ix mod, so we keep it within the length of our tracks, and we're just going to return tracks at that index. All right, so rather than returning the whole array, we just get a track this way, and C# lets us do this nice little thing here. All right, but Art, so glad you're here. Happy Sunday, my friend. How are you doing? How are you? And this will be get, or just track of ID. So we should be able to, let's go to our title screen. If we wanted to start track 1, we should get the other music. There we go. All right, so we got our music controller. We can easily set tracks. We'll add in a thing to fade between them, but the music controller sort of works. It's a single scene, so if we change scenes, it keeps it in there. It doesn't destroy it. And we don't actually end up with 2. All right, so what I'm going to do here is in my level controller. So right now it's called a level builder controller. I need to rename it to just level controller. We can say that when we wake up, awake, we can use our singleton. So we have the singleton. We got to add it to our namespace here. So using skydriver.audio, but we have our music. We can do our music controller dot set start. What did I call it? Music controller. Oh, dot instance. We got to get our instance dot start track 1. All right. And on our title screen, we'll go to start track 0. And we'll add another track for our menu scene, our stage select screen as well. Art says, gradually turning my sleep schedule around. I woke up on the right side of midnight today. Had an extra nap in the early morning. I've been for a lovely run. Ooh, taking care of your body, my friend. I love it. And we'll probably take another nap in a moment and try to code/stream this evening. I'm looking forward to your stream. I don't think you streamed yesterday. I was sort of hoping you would. Art, for anyone who doesn't know, Art's a real game developer. Here, we're gonna give Art a shout out. Art is making a first-person hack and slash shooter game, custom engine in C#. I absolutely love Art's stream because he is, for the most part, a self-taught. He's in school now, but self-taught, has built his own engine, and he's all about learning how to do things. He's not using Unity like I am or Unreal Engine. He wants to explore how to make a 3D engine for a game that's Doom-like, Heretic, Hexen inspired. It looks awesome. I can't wait for it to come out. I think, Art, let me know if I'm correct here, but you're hoping to have a demo out later this year for your project. But everyone, real quick, in the chat, click that heart button. Give Art some love. And check out his stream. Excellent stream. I can't move this now. What's going on? What did I do? There we go. Perfect. All right. But yeah, give Art some love. And we love Art. All right, so we're going to see if the music changes now. Let's drive. There we go. So the music, it's pretty abrupt change, right? Ooh, that's interesting. If the track's already playing, I don't want to start it. All right, so I want to do one little thing here. I don't want it to restart the music that was already playing. I want it to... Also, is it set to loop? One sec, let me take a look here. All right, it says, I'm hoping to have it out by the end of February. Awesome. I'm so excited to play it. It looks awesome. And of course, so this is music that I have found on OpenGameArt.org. OpenGameArt, for anyone who doesn't know, is a great place to find and share video game resources. I have my own collection of stuff that I've shared here, but the music we're using here is called Another Space Background Track by the author Yid, who has graciously shared it on OpenGameArt. And then the level music right now is called Blue Beat 01. This is by Earth. Again, graciously shared using Creative Commons. So you can actually take this, modify it, reuse it any way you want, commercially or non-commercially, as long as you give it credit. I absolutely love OpenGameArt. It's awesome for prototyping. Find stuff for prototyping games, especially during game jams. We want to set the loop on this. All right, so one sec. we are gonna set, forgot to turn the loop on. When we wake up, we want our audio source, yeah, audio source dot loop dot. This is why I need to not call it audio source. Yeah, I really liked it. I spent some time last night. I spent like an hour listening to different clips. We'll call this. I need a better name than audio source here. Let's make it's private. Let's call it just audio source like this. Audio source dot loop is true. So these are like loopable tracks. So one of the nice things on OpenGameArt, you can, when you do a search, so go to music search, you can actually say, okay, well, I want things that are tagged with loop or loopable. And so I did loop and I did space. And this brought up a bunch of different songs that or different audio files that I listened to get it. And so we have some audio that loops pretty nicely. Let's see, when I set that loop in our music controller, yeah, now it should loop. I want to make it, so notice when I switch levels, it starts the music over and it's kind of abrupt. I want to do a thing that says if I'm already playing that track, not to load it. So if we have, I'm hopping around here very, very quickly, so I apologize. Art says, I need to figure out how to loop a short sound for continuous sound sources, such as streaking fireball or the like. Yeah, luckily Unity does a lot of that for us. See, this is why Art is hardcore. And it's also why when I watch Art stream, I tend to learn an awful lot looking at his code because he is, building his own engine. So normally I just say, okay, well, audio source.loop. I don't have to deal with how that works. I'm using it. Whereas if I went and watched Art stream while he's developing that, I'll be able to see the process, the thought process he used to find it, which is super cool. This needs to be in our set track. All right, so if, I'm gonna do the little thing here, it says, we get the clip. All right, so we're gonna do audio clip track. It's equal to tracks.track at ID. We're gonna say if track is equal to audio source.clip. So if we already have that track selected, we're gonna do nothing. We're just gonna skip. Otherwise we set it. So this should fix that issue. We're about to find out though. All right. So I should be able to, I can't tell if it actually restarted. I don't think it restarted. I really like this music though. All right. The loop here might just be super short. I might want to add it. So this loop here is incredibly short. It's almost a little too short. So we might find a different music for that. All right, cool. So we have that working. The next thing I want to do is I want to, if you have music, if you have one track playing and you start playing a new track, I actually want to make those tracks sort of fade into each other. So I want to add a fade where it fades one out and fades one in at the same time. So we actually, in our music controller, I think I'm going to add a more diverse melody. Maybe we'll do that now, actually. Let's take a look. So I have some other options here that I selected. This one's very, very short, I think. So it might just be, ideally I have multiple tracks to choose from, but let's see here. I think this was sort of another one I kind of liked. So maybe we'll use this. So we're gonna, I think it's this one here. Here, let's listen. Yeah, we'll go with this one here. And then we're gonna compress it. So 5, it's pretty bit hefty one here. All right, so we're gonna add this into our musics. Like this. I'm gonna call this track 2. This is gonna be our track 0. This will be our track 2. Explorating. What did they call it? Beyond Cosmos. All right, we're gonna call that one Beyond Cosmos. All right, we'll stop it here. Yeah, this one's definitely a little bit longer, and I like that. Our music track database went away. Oh, it's because I moved it, I think, into our prefabs. No, in our resources prefabs properties. Keep that to the side there. We're going to add in a track 2. So if we come down here into our music, Beyond the Cosmos, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that our level, for now, our level controller, level select controller, level builder controller. For now, it's going to start track 2. Maybe we should give the player, the user, some choice. But anyway, I want to add this to the level editor. All right, let's check it out. Not the level editor, the level files. Yeah, I like it. Oh, we'll get, get some sound effects added in here too. At least an exploding sound effect. I'm not sure what all sound effects will add, but at the very least an exploding sound effect. I'm getting better at my own game. I really like, this is a great track. This is a great track. All right, cool. But we want to fade in and out. We're gonna try and fade in and out on it. So my idea for fading in and out is in my music control, I actually have 2 audio sources. All right, so I'm gonna have 2 audio sources. Or at least maybe children audio sources. We want 2 audio sources. If I add a second one here, so audio source, I'm not gonna be able to get component here. We want sort of 2 audio sources. We want one that is currently playing, and then one that's going to be our next. Yeah, so I don't think there's a whole lot of sounds, but I definitely want to add in an explosion sound, which shouldn't be too challenging to do. We'll use a program to generate that, I think. But I kind of want 2 audio sources. All right, so we're gonna have an audio source here called current playing audio. All right, so this is the audio that's currently playing, and we're gonna have one that's sort of like the cue. All right, so then we'll have another audio source, and this one is gonna be our cued audio. And I'm really curious if I can do the following. I don't know if we can add 2 components of the same type to this thing. But when we wake up, I want to see if I can do the following. So playing audio is going to be equal to add game object dot add. I think we might have to add subcomponents. We're going to add an object in here called that's of type audio source. And then we're going to do another one that's called cued audio. I don't know if we can do this. I don't think we're going to find out though. So when I hit play here, we should end up with 2. Audio source. Okay, you can have 2. All right, so we can have 2, which is cool. And then we just sort of need to like swap those references around a bit. Okay. So the idea is then we're gonna fade out when we start a track. Art says, I have never made or programmed any sound set before this game. The sounds I have now were made over a year ago, and it was so much fun. I recorded various things, which I brought into Audacity to modify until they sounded the way I wanted. Looking forward to making some more someday. Making more someday. Yeah, audio engineering is super cool. I did a class, or I worked with a class where we were doing some adding audios, and it was like, we had these mics, and you just sort of like, you know, scratching like a paper plate, or like different types of construction paper, or squishing things, you know, trying to get hit sounds, like a hit sound, and taking a sponge and like squishing it was like it turned out to be like a really good way, taking a sponge, squishing it, and then, you know, playing with like the bass sound and like slowing it down to make it sound like more like a hit sound. It was cool. It was really, really fun. All right. So otherwise, we sort of need to have this idea of which track is fading in and which track is fading out. Yeah, so we'll have a sort of thing here about which track is fading in and which track is fading out. Let's format this document. So rather than switching the playing audio to the clip, we're going to switch the cued audio to start playing, and we're going to fade that sound in. We're going to fade it in, and then when it's done fading, we swap it. Yeah, need a fire sound? Don't record fire. You crinkle some dry grass or something. Audio engineering is really cool to watch too. There's some really good documentaries on it for various movies. Welcome to Lurk Mode, Daniel. Welcome to Lurk Mode. So the idea, so we need to have private float fade time is 0. And the idea here is we're going to set a fade time as we come in here. So we're going to say fade time to 1 second. So we're going to take 1 second to fade them. Okay. And in our update, protected void update, so each frame, we're going to do a thing here. We're going to have a method called fade music. And this will be a private method. Private void fade music. Art says exactly. You start coming up with peculiar ways to generate sounds. The gun in my game is the modified and doubled up sound of a bathroom door at my facility. The acoustics in there made it very loud, so I thought it might do the trick. Yeah, it's really, really cool. What's interesting is sometimes when you know what the sound is, if you can kind of hear it still. You're like, oh yeah, it does sound like that. Like door creakings and stuff are really interesting. You can use them to make interesting sound effects. But then you can, like, if you listen close, you're like, oh yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I actually love it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. Fade music, so we're gonna say if fade time is greater than 0. All right, so if fade time is greater than 0, we are going to subtract out the time.delta time. So we're gonna subtract out the time, and then we're gonna slowly fade the other music in. So when fade time is 0, all right, so when fade time is 0, we should have a float called cued. So essentially our playing audio dot volume is going to be equal to our fade time. So it starts at 1 and then it slowly fades out. And then we need the inverse. We need the inverse of that, So our cued audio. So fade time is a number that starts at 1 and goes to 0. And cued audio is going to be minus fade time. So this one's going to start, since fade time starts at 1, it'll be 0 first, and then it's going to increase as it goes. So these are like inverse values. And then for now, so let's test that. Let's test that real quick. Menaliki says, exactly. The hovercraft sound in mine is a modified vacuum cleaner. It's a modified vacuum. Interesting. I didn't get my audio. Oh, I didn't hit play. Art says, a Doom YouTuber I often watch once replaced all sounds in Doom's episode 1 with ones he made on his own mouth. Ooh, that sounds really cool. That kind of faded in. This is interesting. What's interesting here is my music controller. One of them set to 0. I have like an extra one. Why do I have? Oh, I know why I have so many audio sources. Do I know why I have so many audio sources? I don't know why. Should only have 2. Why do I have 3? Hang on. Music control. Oh, I know why I have 3. Because I have this as a required audio source. So we should have 2. All right, so we should have 2. If I hit play. Oh, the fade's not going to work because it sort of fades in when we start up. So this one is actually our cued. What I need to do is when it gets to 0, it actually becomes the playing source. Rayanne Eramos. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Rayanne Eramos. Welcome aboard, my friend. Let me know if I'm pronouncing wrong. Is it okay if I just call you Ray? But happy Sunday. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you as part of the crew. So we actually need to swap it. Once it reach is 0, but we only want to swap it once. We'll add in a little bit more stable. Swap cued. And then we're going to do a swap cued equals true here. Then we're going to say else if swap cued. So if it's swap cued is true. So if we're done fading and swap cued is true, we're gonna set swap cued to false, right? But then we also need to swap it. So played audio is going to be equal to our cued audio. And there's a bug. I'm writing a bug here. Does anyone see the bug? Anyone see the bug? These are going to be right now pointing at the same thing. So I have to create like a temporary variable. So we're going to do a var temp is equal to our cued audio. Equal to our playing audio. And we set that temp variable here. It's yelling at me saying, hey, I shouldn't use that. Use tuple to swap values. Use tuple. Ooh, interesting. Use a tuple to swap. Use explicit. What does it say to do? Oh, look at that little trick. Look at that little trick there. That is cool. I've never seen that trick in C#. It makes sense. Let me ask a question. Which one of these is easier to read? I honestly am all right, so this code, all right, swaps variables. All right, this code here has the same effect as this code here. So you can use a tuple that says, well, queued audio becomes plain audio and plain audio becomes queued audio. So you can put it all in one line there and it will swap them for you. But I actually think this explicit code here, so there's this like rule of a line of code should only do one thing, right? A line of code should only do one thing. I don't know, like I can see this and go like, oh, that makes sense, but I have to think about it. I have to go like, what is this line of code doing? I actually think I like this second code a little bit better, even though it's a little bit, I think it probably uses a little bit more CPU power to do it. I think I like this second piece better. But my linter is telling me, hey, you should actually do, you know, this is the preferred way to swap two values. So I'm not sure what I should do. I'm not sure which one's actually better. That said, we're going to go ahead. I'm not sure. So when I teach my students this, so one of the things on the AP test, on the AP Computer Science A test, they want you to be able to recognize this pattern. So I think it's kind of important for the AP test to teach it this way. It's the same way I tend to teach for loops without using higher order functions for loops. That's a neat little trick. I think I'm gonna stick with this though, because this will be better for my students. Yeah, so this makes it clear what I'm doing, and I think for my students, this is going to be important to teach it this way. So I'm explicitly doing it to teach it, my students, the mechanics of what's happening. Yeah. All right. So let's see if we get the audio swapping now. We've got, is anyone else bothered by the silence? The lack of audio? So I'm curious. That fade's pretty good. Dram Elks, ahoy! Welcome back, my friend. Exactly, Smab, exactly. We're gonna show them both. So here's the thing, Art. I actually don't know that it's that clever. This feels like, oh, that's nice. That's actually a nice way to do it in one line. I don't know that it's that clever. And if you've seen it, you know what it does. I actually think in both cases, you're equally likely to make a mistake. Yeah, I know it's true. Dramox, though, welcome aboard, my friend. How are we doing today? Let's make our fade time. I guess 1 makes sense. So yeah, 1 second to fade between them. Let me put some music back on while I'm playing around with this. The fade's nice. Not too bad. Okay. Let us... Yeah, it'd be really interesting, Smab, I agree. It would be really nice to take a look at what this compiles to under the hood. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. I'm just add a little note here. Swap variables. For students, show them this trick, but mention readability / AP exam expectations. Is that not how I spell expectations. There we go. So I think that's what Smab what it's lowered into. I would say I would be curious what this gets desugared into, is what I would say at runtime. My guess, so what I think happens is typically everything on the right side of the equality sign gets evaluated first. So you'd end up with a tuple on the right side. This is what I believe would happen. You'd end up with a data structure on the right side that first evaluates these references, and then it would turn into 2 assignments, one for this one and one for that one, but your references that you're assigning happen to be the dereference of the thing on the right side. Because you can't do an assignment until you've, that's right, Stevia code. Desugared stevia code. Yeah, so it gets lowered into, so for example, well, I won't go into an example. I was gonna say there's like the example of int x equals 5, but you could do int x equals 5. I actually think, and this could be wrong, this gets, when you do this, it actually sort of turns into that. Just for simplicity. So it's like anytime I've called it, anytime I've done that in a compiler's course, I've always heard it as referred to as sugaring and desugaring. So you have like your core language, and you have your sugared languages, which is what people write in. And correct me if I'm wrong, Smab. Correct me if I'm wrong if there's a difference between lowering and sugaring. I am not always correct. In fact, I'm incorrect very frequently. All right, so I have my music controller here. Let's do a commit. All right, so we have, let's make sure we save this. Yeah, they've done a lot of nice, and that's why I call it syntactic sure, because it tastes so good. Feat implement music controller singleton. And we'll sync that up. Okay. Something you could do to get an interesting track. Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm glad I was correct. Thank you, Smab. So I kind of want people to be able to specify the track, but maybe, just maybe, no. All right, so in my level, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. In my level, you've never heard desugaring? Well, what's the opposite of sugaring? All right, so what I want to do is I'm gonna make it optional that if you specify a track, all right, so our level builder, we also want to have a public lowering. Illuminati says, I didn't use source code before. Is there a difference with using GitHub Desktop or other than GitHub pushing everything? I don't quite understand. Oh, source control. I didn't use source control before. Is there a difference between using GitHub Desktop other than GitHub pushing everything? I don't quite understand the question. I think what you're asking, is there a difference between using GitHub Desktop and using Git from the terminal? Is that what you're saying? The answer is not really. GitHub Desktop is just a nice interface for doing the command line stuff and sort of authenticating on your behalf. Typically, you don't necessarily want to commit everything, so you have like a git ignore, especially with Unity projects. You don't want to be committing everything. You want to make sure you use the Unity git ignore file and also the large file support extension for Git. Let me know if that answered your question, Illuminati. I'm not sure I did. All right, so we're also going to have a track here. So it's going to be a public. Yeah, so this is just a different way. So I'm using VS Codes. It's identical. It's essentially identical to what GitHub Desktop's doing under the hood. It's just running commands in the command line. So there's no real difference in using it this way. It's just the interface might look different. I have my students actually use GitHub Desktop. Yeah, so I hope that answered your question. Of course. Public int track get private set. All right. So when we construct a level builder, we're going to take in a track. All right. So track equals track. Like this. It's very simplified. GitHub Desktop is very simplified. That's why I have my students use it. Also, there's some fiddly things using this source control tool that I don't want to have to like do too much support for them. right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna say, okay, if the first line of this file is a number, if the first line of this file is a number, Arc says, I am by no means experienced with GitHub, but so far I have tried Git Bash, Git Cola, and GitHub Desktop, and Desktop is by far my favorite. That's what I've heard from most people. They love GitHub Desktop. I prefer the terminal because I was using Git before, maybe before there was GitHub Desktop. I was using Git before I was using GitHub. So I used to just like make my own, I had my own server where I did stuff. So I'm very, very familiar with the Git. I wouldn't even say very familiar. I wouldn't even call myself an expert. But I'm pretty familiar with Git from the command line, and it just feels more efficient to me. Yeah, so I've just used the terminal for, the terminal version for probably over 10 years at this point. I'm not even sure. But I've been using it a long time. I didn't even know. I ended up in a situation where I had, someone was talking to me about like the Git UI, and I was going, what are you talking about? So like Git actually comes with a UI tool by default. It's not GitHub Desktop or anything, but there's actually a Git UI tool. Jamot says, instead of trying to remember every command line and what it does, and accidentally doing something bad, I'd much rather prefer a nice GUI that explains what it does until something goes wrong. And then that's the only down part. Illumini says, I think backend developers tend to choose Git Bash and that type of platforms. Well, I worked on Linux for a long time. You'll notice that when I do open my terminal, I happen to be running in Git Bash, which is like my preferred terminal. I don't know if preferred is the right word, but it's a terminal that I like. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, when I load from a string, if the first line is a number, then I'm gonna say that's the track number. Otherwise, I'm gonna do something clever. I'm gonna do something clever in double quotes. All right, so we're gonna check, is the first line a number? So text dot split on new lines. All right, so this is gonna be string array values. All right, data. All right. Hang on. We're gonna write a method for this. Write a method for getting the track information. Private. Private. Down here. Private static int get track info. String level data. So we're gonna get the track info here. And really we're just gonna say if the first line is an int, we're gonna use that. So we're gonna say level data dot split on new lines. All right, and so we're gonna say string data equals, and say if data dot length is less than or is less than 1, so it's equal to 0, we're just gonna return track 0. So if they didn't, if this whole thing is like it shouldn't happen, this whole thing's an exception here actually. All right, so if there isn't a first line, we're in trouble. Exactly, Smabs. Smabs in reply to Dramulk's talking about using Git. You can still do bad things. Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm not even gonna worry about that. We're just gonna say, we're gonna try to parse. So if int.try parse data of 0 out int num. So if we're able to parse this, we're just gonna return num. So that's gonna be our track. F2 track. Otherwise, we're gonna do level data dot hash code. So if they specify a track, we're gonna use that track number. Otherwise, we're just gonna get a hash code and say, all right, every string should have a unique hash code. If we and right now our tracks are using mod to find it. So this is what we're gonna do for our track information. Now we're gonna do something special when we're parsing out. And maybe this is too tricky. Maybe this is dumb. But parsing queues. I'm gonna do get track info text. Like that. Parsing queues. We're gonna end up with, I really kind of just want to say, I think in our platform types, Lumini saw, Dramulk says first, yeah, but at least I won't be like those darn command lines. in my best old man voice there. Those darn command lines. Kids these days don't know how to use the command line. They're all spoiled by their fancy mouse and cursors. Illuminati says, yesterday I basically deleted the project with stash option with GitHub Desktop. So it's not foolproof. Yeah, it's definitely not foolproof. First time creating a project just by my own, just experimenting. Yeah, so it's a you use it and you figure it out over time. Exactly. Okay. So our parsing queues really, maybe this is dumb. This is our parse queues, our level data here. Find the max length of the level data. We want to filter. All right, so we're going to do something like this. Level data dot where if it contains just, I'm making this really overly complex right now. All right, we're actually just going to say that you have to have in a track on your first line. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to say you have to have a track on your first line. That's the rule that we're going with. Or should it be your last line? We'll have it be the first line, and then we're just going to stip it. Yeah, just conform, no one will get hurt. All right, so, and then in this case, we can do the following. We don't need this anymore, we'll just do, we'll do string array data. Rather than trying to do something super clever, we're just gonna force this to be this way. Data. And really we want this to be a substring, so we're gonna start at 1. Can I do that? Yeah. So we skip the first element when we parse our columns. And then the track, we're just gonna parse that first one. So it's gonna be int.parse data0.trim. So we're gonna force each of our levels to have a track number on it. So that'll be 2, 1, and 3. 2, 1, 3, and we'll get rid of this track info. Rather than doing something clever, we're just gonna force it. All right, and then we should ignore it. Let's make sure that this works. Let me pause my stream beats. Oh, of course I'm not doing it in my level controller. Hang on. Level builder controller. I'm not getting the track from the level. So I need to actually get it from my builder here. Builder.track. So this is cool because it'll be a reasonable lesson in refactoring. Art's gonna take his nap. He says, all right, I will try to take a nap to refresh my brain. I didn't get much sleep last night, and I want to write some good stuff today. Excellent, Art. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I'm able to catch you. I'm going on a hike later, so I might miss it, but I'm looking forward to it. Have a beautiful day, my friend. Thanks for hopping in. As always, you're welcome back anytime. There we go. Okay, so we can swap the audio in here. And it's really, really quite easy to do. Okay. Happy with that. Our level select screen maybe needs a different music. But I kind of like it just sort of keeping whatever sound you had in before. All right. So we have our music. And for being here to witness this momentous occasion, I like to award all of you 50 points. Yeah, I'll try and remember to take pictures. I'm not good at taking pictures, but my partner, she loves to take pictures. So I'd be happy to share them once I have them. Thank you for the reminder. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're at 2 hours, 45 minutes. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to add in some sound effects. I'm going to add in some sound effects, at least an explosion sound effects, at least a tool to do sound effects. So not too hard. And we also did this bonus here. There we go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please hang tight. Find something to hold on to. Hang on to it tightly. I'm going to get myself some tea and more water because I'm out. And I'll see you soon. All right, I am back. Thank you for holding on. I hope you're able to grab onto something. Keep yourself safe from being blown away. As you may have noticed, it is possible to check how many points you have. And the dancing mugs, hanging on to them. If you notice, those dancing mugs, don't spill those coffees because they're hanging on. That coffee's hanging on. There is a little store you can use to spend your points if you'd like to. If you'd like to spend your points. No one has yet redeemed anything in the store, so that's I'm surprised by that. That probably means everything costs too much. Everything costs too much. I was worried things would be, I'd run out of stuff immediately, so I made it kind of high. I might reduce those prices. Or in the future, I might do more. Holding on to the points for the leaderboard. That's right. So we do have a leaderboard. You can see who's in the lead. I try and remove the bots. For a while there were quite a few bots. There is a leaderboard, though. Lots of points coming through. All right. But there's a little bit of a store. These are little keys I have for some games that I'm not using and either already have or not particularly interested in. Ollie Ollie is one of my favorite games. So I'm not sure if you come to this page, this store page, Daniel, I'm not sure if it'll let me send them to. I know you're not in the United States. There's a couple restrictions, but all you do is you go to this link, and you just click redeem item, and then it should redeem it for you. Let me know if you want to try that. Give it a shot. These ones you can also redeem here to check some stuff out. But yeah, if you want to redeem these, you just click that redeem item button on that page there. Supposedly, maybe you can't, maybe it's not possible to redeem yet, and that's why no one's redeemed anything. That said, this is just sort of trying to, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not planning to become a Twitch affiliate. I'm mostly doing this because I enjoy doing it. But people have asked me, I want to get loyalty points. I need points for being here. So this is my attempt to do that. And also these are things that I'm not using, so I'm happy to give them away, happy to share them. But I hope someone finds them useful because they're just sort of rotting in my Humble Bundle library. All right, but we're back. We got ourselves some Elm tea. We're going to see if we can add sound effects. All right, so really I want one sound effect for when you explode. Let's go look at what Sky Roads looks like. Sky Roads. Sky Roads. What are the sound effects in this game? Let's see if I can get the music to work here. Loading. So I know there's an explosion sound effect. Okay, there is a little, you can kind of hear it. Let me see if I turn the music off. There is a little bit of a jumping sound that plays like a dunk. Crank it up. So there's sort of a sound for jumping. I know there's a sound. There's not a sound for like the engine. But I know when you crash, there's a sound. Well, that was interesting. Ooh, okay, so if you're colliding with something, it sort of plays a sound. Yeah, there's a bouncy sound. Let's see. Oops. Let's try again. All right, so we're gonna do an explosion sound as well. So at the very least, I want to have an explosion sound, and then yeah, if you're going slow enough, you don't blow up. It's when you're going very, very fast. Not very fast, but I think it's like 50% speed or greater is you'll crash. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna get an explosion sound here. We're getting an explosion. Let's see if we can generate one. Do I have a sound generator? Someone once shared it with me and I thought it was awesome. Sound JS, here it is. All right, explosion. So let's see if we can find a nice. I like that. That one seems all right. Explosion. Let's see if we're gonna. Ooh, I like that one too. Then we're gonna go with one of these two. We'll add these into here. So in our audio, we're gonna add in a sound effect. Let me put some music back on. Create a folder. SFX stands for sound effects. I'm gonna add these two in here. We'll call this explosion 0 and explosion 1. All right, so then we're gonna do a thing that's similar to what we did before. Add an explosion. We're gonna, if we have like our music control, we're gonna have a sound effect, or maybe we just put it all in one. Maybe we put it all in one. We'll add one more audio source. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Or do we have a sub for each of the different sound effects? Interesting thought. Interesting thought. I think we actually want to have a. This really is only on our level. So in our level, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add it to our level. Let's go to our level scene. Let's not overcomplicate things. Level. We're gonna put it in here. And our player, we're gonna put it on the explosion. So when the explosion turns on, it will play. All right, so we're gonna add in our explosion, create a child explosion. All right, and we're just gonna add an explosion sound to that. And we're gonna play on Wake. And I think that's all we gotta do. Let's go try and crash. Input string was not in the correct format. My demo level, I have a bad format. Daniel really wants the Doom Eternal key. Well, you're almost there, my friend. You're almost there. How many points do you have, Daniel? Let's see. Let's see, demo level here. We got to put a track number. Let's go with track 1. All right. All right. You can give points, I believe. Give points. There's a give points command, I believe. But Snap says I should snipe it. I should snipe it. I'm really, really curious if it can be redeemed. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Add points. Daniel, you're going to help me test this. Let's see if I can get your name spelled right. So you need 4,800 points. Is that correct? But you can help me test, 'cause I don't know. Stream. Let's get this. Let's go look at this store. Here we go. You're gonna help me test it, Daniel. And I hope that the key will work for you. I'm concerned that it won't work outside. So they told me there's certain countries it won't work in. 4,500. Okay. 4,500. So here's what we're gonna do, Daniel. Daniel's gonna help me test it out. See what happens. So we need to give you 1,000 points. And then I'm gonna give you 600 more points. All right, Daniel. You have the power. Oh. You have the power, Daniel. Go see what happens when you redeem it. I'm curious. I'm curious what happens because I haven't had anyone redeem anything yet. A bit much, don't you think? I think you have to do it without the @ sign there, Smab, but I'm not sure. Did that work, Daniel? Let's go look at our leaderboard. Okay, cool. So it seemed to work. I didn't get a message saying it worked or not, so I'm curious. All right, Daniel has redeemed the Doom Eternal bundle. So it should have given you a link. It should have given you a URL that you can use. Let me know if that URL works for you, because if I refresh here, now it says sold out. So now we're sold out. Stream moments, how about you don't do that? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, my string format was incorrect here. This is in our demo levels. This should work now, though. Okay. Now it's gonna go crash. I need to go blow up. I think it blows up if I fall off. All right, let's try level 3. Okay, it kind of works. It's a little delayed, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, it should bring your points on. Awesome, Smab. I'm glad to hear it. I'm not glad that you lost 2,000 points, but Smab, thank you so much for giving Daniel points. Daniel, did you lose? Were you able to use the key? I'm curious. It should have been a link. It has told me that there are a few countries that, since I bought it in the US, since my Humble Bundle is a US account, there are certain countries where it cannot be redeemed. Let me know. Let me know if it didn't work for you. All right, so we have our explosion sound effect. That was easy. I wish it would play. Let me see if I can send you the link directly. I'm gonna send it to you on Slack. Because it does. I have a link. I still have it. Give me a second here. Stream elements. Turn some music back on here. Give me a moment. Oh, interesting. It didn't actually send you the full link. I might have to. So again, this is the first time I see what it sent you. Let me go see if I can get it real quick, because I do have it. That's fascinating. So I'm gonna send you this. I don't know why I didn't give you the whole key. All right, so on Discord, I just sent you that. Let me know if that works. Let me know if that works for you. What I might do is make it so when you redeem stuff in the store, you have to send me a Discord message and they'll just send it to you. That way there's not any weird shenanigan stuff happening. Having it built into the store might be a little bit broken. Yeah, it looks like there was a URL encoding issue with what it sent to Daniel. But thank you for helping me test that out, Smab, Daniel, Dramulx. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it seems to be kind of working. That you can redeem stuff. You get a message in the chat when you redeem something. That's cool. I guess I should add some fireworks or something. That's what everyone always adds to their stream. Part of me finds that distracting, so I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be completely honest. One of these days, though, I think I might do a giveaway. So I have like 800 Steam keys, something crazy, in my library. It might be nice to give a bunch away. Have some sort of I usually give them away in my classes, but have some sort of like coding marathon with questions, and people answer questions to get entered into drawings for the prizes or something. I think that could be fun. All right, let's. I think we got it. We got our explosion sound. I wanted to play sooner. I do want it to play sooner. The sound. Sort of feels like it starts a little bit late. Let's go back to a scene where it's easier to blow up. Because the audio is just like slightly delayed, which is... When I respawn, that's so interesting. The music stops. Oh, I know why. I know why. Hang on. The music's just not looping in our music controller. When we create these two, when we wake up, we need to do playing audio.loop equals true and queued audio.loop equals true. That's what we got to do. That's why the music's stopping. All right, we're gonna add a bounce sound too. All right, that seems to be fine. All right, let's add in a bounce sound. Let's see if I can go back to my sound effect generator. I don't want it to be annoying. That's the one thing, is I don't want the bounce to be annoying. These are all too high pitched. All right, let's see. Move the frequency down. That's gonna be our bounce. Bloom, bloom. Can we make it shorter? All right, that's gonna be our bounce sound. It's gonna be our annoying bounce sound. All right, we're gonna call this bounce. All right, so the idea with the bounce is we sort of play this when the player returns to the ground, or maybe when they press jump. I think that's what we'll do. I think it's when the player presses jump, it plays it. So we're gonna add bounce to the player. All right, and this doesn't play on awake. And in our player ship controller, let's go to our player ship controller. The player ship controller, when we do jump, all right, we are just gonna go add it in there. Dramulx says, time to get back to my checklist. All right, Dramulx, thank you so much for hanging out. Good luck with your checklist. As always, keep coding, keep growing, and you're welcome back anytime. All right, so if we jump, oh, okay. Well, welcome to lurk mode then. And of course, though, you're still welcome back anytime. We're gonna get the component here. This is our audio source, like that. All right. And then we're gonna say play. All right, so let's see if we have a jump sound here. Yeah. It's not a bounce sound, but it's a jump sound. The delayed sounds are so interesting. Delayed sounds are so interesting. That's okay. Let's create a variable up here called bounce sound. Rave, my friend. Happy Sunday. It's going well, ITC Studios. Rave. So happy to see you. Daniel, congratulations. I'm so glad you're able to get Doom Eternal. Daniel redeemed some points thanks to Smab. Smab gave Daniel 2,000 points. Good for, thank you so much, Smab. Redeeming Doom Eternal, I'm glad it works. 89 gigs. That's a big boy. That game was fat. It's going great, ITC Studios. We almost got it. We're just adding in a sound effect here for bouncing. It's a big chungus. It's a big chungus. That's right. Field, serialize field. Let me our public. Oh, we don't need to serialize this. Public audio source. Audio source bounce sound, and this is just going to return get component audio source like that. Okay, that should fix it. So we added in crashes, we added in sound effects. So I think we got everything we want to do. I think our game is ready to be published. Daniel's brother is currently using the big. All right, so we got a little jump sound. But yeah, we got tracks working. So if we change levels, it fades. Oh, that level has the same. Oh, that's just the ambient sound. But yeah, levels can have different soundtracks. We're gonna just add in some more stuff. Just like that. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Do a commit here. Feature. Let's make sure we save. Hang on. The music came out nice. The music came out nice. It's all open source. So we're gonna feature, add explosion and bounce sound effects. Beautiful commit. Sync change. I think we got it. Rave, are you in the middle? Are you busy, my friend? Rave, I'm curious. Would you be able to? And if you can't right now, I would love. If you ever to take this model and just reduce the poly count, the way you told me, like you could 1/8 of the, you could like really reduce the poly count very quickly. You were mentioning, if you happen to have the time, because I want to export this to a WebGL project. I'm gonna see what happens if I do it as a WebGL project now. I'm curious how big it's gonna be, but I would like to publish this. Let's go to our not player settings. Is that right? No, it is player settings. We're going to come in here, resolution. Oh, we got to switch to WebGL. Switch to WebGL. Oh no! Oh, hang on. There it is. I was like, I thought I had to switch platforms. All right, we're gonna see if we can publish to a web project, and then we're gonna wrap up for today. But we just added sound effects. But I think we're done with this prototype. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next. I won't be streaming tomorrow. So tomorrow I have an early morning meeting. Tomorrow. Adventure Quest is done. Yeah, Dramulks. So done is always a strong word. If you want to go check it out, adventurequest.captaincoder.org. If you want to go play the demo, it's here. Here's a link of the final version we finished. It has stuff. You can check it out there. The final build. I'm still turning it into a class project, right? But yeah, we finished it. Finished is such a strong word. It's not. It's a thing that is playable. I'm not gonna say it's particularly fun. It's playable. But I don't think it's that fun. But all of the components, all of the components of the prototype exist for building a game. All right, we're gonna see. In order to build a player, go to player settings to resolve the incompatibility between color space and the current settings. Captain Coder. All right. I'm glad you like it. That's sort of what I was going for. That's exactly what I was going for, was like the Baldur's Gate games. I loved those games. Let's see. What is it saying with the incompatibility? In order to build a player, Tribes of Midgard is one of my favorite games. I just happen to already have it. Dramulx, I'd love to check out your projects. If you're not on the Discord, join the Discord. Post it on my Discord if you haven't already. I would love to see what you're doing. Give me a link, something along those lines. In order to build the player settings to resolve the incompatibility between the color space and the current settings. Here we go. Color space. Gamma. Change to gamma. I would love to. And anyone else who wants to join the Discord, here's a link to it. I don't know. This link might be slightly broken. The Dark Knight's scary. Make sure you want to go. Don't go to the cemetery. The cemetery's the hard spot. Absolutely hard to show and tell small chunks. I agree. High quality light map encoding requires WebGL2 only. Uncheck automatic gamma graphics. Automatic graphic if it's set and remove. Let's go with low quality. Let's see what happens. All right. All right. It's too late. Unity Coder saying you could remove WebGL1 support. I think it's quite old. Where is that setting? Is there just a checkbox somewhere I do that? WebGL. Let's look for WebGL. From Auto Graphics API. Yeah, I don't know what that means. WebGL here. I'm sure it's here somewhere. WebGL. Checkbox below color space. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just my eyes couldn't see it. Unity Coder for your assistance. For your assistance. 50 points. Thank you so much for your help. Yeah, Trouble in the Forest. Like I said, the game isn't particularly fun. But it's playable. You can click things and do things and things happen. Not the most fun. Not the most fun. I would love to. So in April, there is a I want to do this game jam. So there's a game jam in April, but I think I'm gonna use Adventure Quest as a basis at Dungeon Crawler Game Jam 2023. I want to do this one here. This game jam starts in April. That's during my spring break. So I'm planning to use my Adventure Quest like character engine stuff in this game jam. Daniel says, one cool idea I have in my game is to add a rideable skateboard because I will have skate park in the park, so you can have a skate park without a skateboard. Yeah, you can't have a skate park without a skateboard. Anyone who's curious, Daniel's creating his game is called a Walk in the Park Simulator. And so I think it's really cool that you're going to have a skateboard in there. Give me just a second. I got to step away for just a moment. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Unity Coder says, check the Unity site. WebGL 1 is deprecated starting from 2021.2. Good to know. And removed in 2023.1. That's also good to know. Illuminati says, I've created a Discord channel for the game, but I'm currently thinking about how should I categorize the community and separate developers and players or build a separate Discord for that. That's a good question. You could consider, I mean, I'm not sure what your Discord is. You could consider just creating a channel, so like a channel groups in your Discord specifically for developers and have different roles and stuff. So one thing, yeah, you could consider how to separate it that way. I'm not sure exactly what you want from your Discord community. I don't know what I want from my Discord community, if I'm being completely honest. I just happen to have one. Someone asked me to start one, so I did. Daniel says, no cool skating like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That's just too much work. Although that would be really, really cool. Daniel, that would be that's like a whole nother game of its own though, right? Yeah, a whole nother game of its own. Just cool to like explore how you might do that with a skateboard. Just like have a little bit of locomotion, a little bit of mobileness. Okay, so we're gonna see if this builds. Let's real quick. Let's see how much that may have affected something. Okay, so the game still seems to work even with like the gamma stuff. That was interesting. The colors are much brighter than before, which is fine. I'm okay with that. We could adjust that a little bit in our... That's okay. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna see if I can build. Yeah, where did my build settings go? I might have closed it. Build settings. We're gonna build this. All right. 3D Actionator, make a folder. Builds. WebGL. Create. All right, here we go. Builds. Create new folder. WebGL. I'm just curious how big this build is going to be because that 3D model I think is 300. It's like 300 megabytes. So I might swap it just for now or do something. I don't know how to shrink it in size. Rave did give me some info on how to do it. I'm just not sure. All right, so we're gonna build this. I should have done build and run, but we're gonna do a build. I just want to see how big it's gonna be. Ooh, 1.3 megabytes. Rave, you did hear me, my friend. Thank you so much. We're gonna see if we can get that in here in a moment. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this build first to see how big it is, and if Unity might do some cool optimizations for us, so I might not actually need it. Unique says you can build editor.log. You can check editor log for build report. Unitycoder.com. How do I get to the editor log? I'm curious. So my school is remote, so we have students from all over the world. Some of them, their bandwidth isn't the best, so trying to keep things under like 25 megabytes is always a good thing. Some of my students are in places where their bandwidth is just like quite limited. Not all of them, but all of my Unity students are in the States though, so they actually have fast. It's actually in. So okay, so there's actually a log file to go look at. Gotcha. Thanks for. I thought there was maybe a button I could click in the editor to find it. Cool. I'm gonna add this. Rave, thanks again so much. We gotta give Rave a shout out here. I don't know if I've given Rave enough shout outs, but everyone, if you're lurking, come on back. If you don't know Rave, if you're not following Rave, you should be. Rave's the one who created the tunnel graphic for me. He's making all kinds of awesome art for me. He made the ship graphic in this game. Beautiful, awesome art. I love watching his stream. Watching him do Blender stuff. He's making a space trucker game, which is awesome. I'm hoping someday Rave will want to team up with me to do a game jam. Because I would love to do a game jam with Rave. I know you're super busy. I know he's super busy. But one of these days, we got to do it. We got to get together. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. And just love his work. So give him some love. In your chat, go up to the top. Click that heart button. Don't break his heart. Give him some love. Dramux is gonna beat Star Citizen. Oh, sorry. Rave is gonna beat Star Citizen to the finish line. That's right. That's the goal. Rave is making a space trucker game in Unity, and it looks so fun. Yeah. So this is building. It's building. And it's still building. It's only been going for 3 minutes, so I guess I shouldn't complain. Shouldn't complain yet. But I want to get this published. Next week, I got to figure out what I'm going to do next week. This is the last project for this Unity class. I have another Unity class in the spring, so I might work on another Unity project next. I may also just make a level editor for this. Part of me wants to make a level editor for this game to make it easier for my students. So that it wouldn't be a project for my students, it'd just be like my own personal project to have a level editor. I'm also teaching an interactive fiction class. So here's my question. Would people be interested in the following? I use this tool called Twine to create, it's a simple tool that we use to create text-based, adventures. Let's skip this. Can we import something here? Would people be interested in seeing this? I feel like maybe not so much. But writing stories here. Let's go to, do I have, here we go. So Twine is a tool for creating interactive fiction. So I use this with my students. I have a class called Coding Interactive Fiction, which allows you to essentially create choose your own adventure stories. All right, so here's a little story we put together. I had an AI generate this story for my students, but essentially it's sort of like this. This ancient site is filled with mysterious artifacts. And so it's a nice little way to write these little programs. And so it's like 80% of a writing class, but I need to generate more content for this class. If people might be interested in seeing me do this, I might do it. I just feel like it's not that interesting on a programmatic level, but it's kind of interesting on like a design approach. So you sort of have these stories, and then this program, you can export these as HTML files and then give them out to people to play. So it just compiles to an HTML page that you use. It uses a programming language called Harlow, which is a dialect of Scheme. And anyone who knows, I love Scheme. You can also do it in JavaScript and HTML. This story here is AI generated. This specific story is AI generated. Let me see if I can, one sec. Let me get a link here. If anyone wants to go and play through the story, I've created an HTML version of it as well. Let me find, give me a moment. Bear with me. Intro to web dev. Let me go, one sec. Bear with me. Hold tight. If you're holding on, hold on tighter. Don't fret. Don't fret. We're gonna get you there. I just gotta find this project real quick. Here it is. If you want to play through this adventure, it's a demo adventure. It's this here. This tool is called Twine. All right, the tool I'm using, IDCS, this tool is called Twine. It's for creating interactive fiction, and it has support for variables and Boolean logic, and also so like numbers, strings, that sort of thing. So it's a fully Turing complete programming language in here as well. But it's like makes it really, really nice and simple for students to do some really interesting things with writing with low effort. You don't have to know a lot about coding. So I use this to teach young students about variables, Boolean logic, and like decision making. So very, very simple stuff, no loops. And then also a little bit about coding. This is awesome for so many different things. This thing is awesome. It's open source too. You can download it onto your computer. You can embed this in various programs as well. This thing is super fun. So if people are interested, I might do a little bit of Twine programming here. Yeah, so I love this thing. It's really, really cool. Let me show you another one I'm working on real quick. Let me see if I can get it here without exposing any of my other stuff. Give me a moment. Love the face that they have in macOS. Yeah. So let me show you this one. Let me export this here. And then I'll import it here. Import. the Dragon's Cave. So you can do interesting things. So you learn a little bit about formatting. This is called Twine. It's called Twine. You can find it here. It's a really fun little tool. You can do stuff. So notice you can also do styling. So you learn about a little bit about programmatic coding. This one here you can add an if statement. So if the strength is less than 10, they get this passage. Otherwise they get this passage. And then you can set variables. So this is a programming dialect called Harlow. It's a dialect of a programming language called Scheme. But you can do really, really neat things with it as far as like styling text, coloring. And so you can have students do really, really cool and empowering and creative storytelling in this way. And then it's really easy to share with the whole school. My students love it. It's my favorite class to teach, even though it's a low programming class. But you introduce the ideas of variables outside of a block language. I'm anti-block language in a lot of ways, at least for beginners. Yeah, so anyway, I might be doing some of this next week. I'm not sure, because I got to make some more content for this class. But, that's sort of my thought process here. Like I said, I'm done with the prototype for this. Okay, let's go see here in our builds. How big is this? Are you giant? Check that out. That's nice. I think it's on compression though. I think it's being compressed. I think I forgot to turn off compression. Hang on. So compressed stuff. Yeah. We can't use compression. I don't think compression works on let's try. It's only 20 megabytes without the new one. Here, let's try it this way. Let's build this way here. WebGL. We're gonna try one more time. But Rave, I don't know if you saw that, but even with the fancier model, it was only 20 megabytes in size. Let's see what it is without compression. 40 megabytes. So it's actually not crazy, even without compression. So that's really, really good to know. In fact, that's like awesome to know. I'm curious here. 40 megabytes without compression. Let's go see if we can play it in the web browser. Let's see what it looks like in the web browser. In our gitignore file though, code.gitignore, we want to ignore our build folder. We don't want to commit that. There we go. Let's go into our builds, WebGL.NET serve. Let's see what it looks like in the web browser. Let's copy this. Are you going to load? Hey! We gotta change some stuff. Scaling's not working properly. So we have a little bit of an awkwardness there. But we can play it in the web browser. So I'm about to publish this. I'm gonna fix up that one little scene thing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Not too bad. And you can go full screen in here too. All right. We gotta fix that scaling issue. Hang on, let's fix that, and then we'll rebuild. So in our stage select, level select. This canvas should scale with screen size. So let's test that out real quick. Try a couple different weird free aspects. If I change it, we're good. Okay. I think we're good if we do it that way. All right, let's try building it again with that change. Make a black material also and select the blend file in the project and to get the glass, the new material you made. Okay, yeah, let's do that real quick. That's a good point. You don't like that bright purple pink color? I thought that was intentional. I'm just kidding, of course. All right, we'll fix that color. I think it's beautiful. It's red. It's steampunk or what do they call it? Synthwave? It's so synthwave. Um, materials create material. We're gonna make it black. All right. And then in our model, well, I can make it transparent. That might be an idea. Well, we'll see what it looks like. If I go into my, do I need to change it on the model or on the player ship prefab? Let's try the prefab. On the model. Okay, so in the model, can I do that in Unity? Or do I have to do that in Blender? When I try and do that here, or do I just come down? All right, let's see if we can find it here. Materials, cockpit, gotcha. So I'm gonna change this. Yeah, I'm gonna change this to my new material. Gotcha, let's lock that just for a moment. Player ship material, rename this cockpit. And then we click apply. Ooh, that looks really good. The black there looks great, actually. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Let's play around with that just for a second. If we make it transparent. I think I like that better, actually. Change opaque to transparent. Ah, okay, cool. That looks good. I like it being slightly black. Thank you so much. That looks great. That looks really, really great. There we go. There we go. All right, we're gonna build this again. 10 out of 10, Rave. Thank you so much for all of your help with this, Rave. It's much appreciated. So appreciated. We're gonna take this, we're gonna build it. We're gonna build it again as another WebGL project. Dramulks. Ooh, you could have challenges in game as rewards. You could get ship skins. So Dramulks is wanting me to introduce all the scope creep. Infinite scope creep. I do. So I think I'm gonna actually add a database so people can publish their own levels. So I'll add a backend somewhere to get that working. All right, let's see if that fixed this here. Let's drive. Yeah. And select levels. It plays pretty well too in the browser. Not horrible. But we need to add some more levels to it. Oh no! Woo! If you get the bounce just right, you don't blow up on those little the fire pads. Oh. All right. So we're gonna publish this. We're gonna take this. We're gonna see if we can publish it on itch, and then I'll share the link with everybody. So stand by. Well, I'll do that. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, but I'll keep chatting with you guys. But yeah, maybe. Oh, you know what, Rave? What we should do is we should make it part of Captain Coder's Stream Elements store. Captain Coder Stream Elements store. You can unlock your own skins. Yeah, yeah, that's how I get user engagement. That's the ticket. That's the ticket for sure. All right, we're gonna go to itch here. 2 hours of watch time per skin. That's right. That's right. My library. We're gonna upload, and then we'll play with it a little bit. My games. How do I do this? I can't remember how to do this. It's been a while. Upload new project. Here we go. SkyDriver. SkyDriver. And Homage. And Skyroads. Homage. And Homage. To the Skyroads. Games not downloadable. It's a HTML. In development. No payment. Upload file. I think I gotta zip this thing up. Gotta zip it up. Zip it up. Where did you go? Hang on, I gotta zip this. Can I do open here? I can't. All right. This is my Git folder, 3D Action Racer builds, zip. All right. I'm gonna upload to the internet. We're uploading omelette du fromage. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, Dremulks. You got it. And then what was the size that this wanted to go to? It was 960. Oh, I should have done this one. Maybe 960 by 600. Shoot, I gotta build it one more time this way. Close that. Build it one more time. Processing. All right. Compress. Delete. Upload. Making progress. This is an executable. This file will be played in the browser. There we go. 960 by, I think I gotta make it slightly bigger, 600. Let's see what this looks like though when I do it. Not mobile friendly. We'll add a full screen button though. This is a prototype of a class project. I'll add some more in there later. This is an action platformer. Save and view page. All right, can we run it? We can. Okay. We are going to get a secret URL here. All right, so if anyone wants to check it out, I'm gonna clean up this page, but if anyone wants to check it out, there's a link to it. It's out there. It's out there in the universe at this point, as they say. You can click run game and check it out. I'm gonna be adding in. So I'm gonna in my own time. I want to create a level editor, get some better. I need to actually update that, but it's out there. It's published. You can play it. There's only 3 levels, but it's playable. It's pretty bright. We're gonna adjust. There's some minor things to fix in it, but we're pretty happy. We're pretty happy with where we got. All right. So that said, I'm gonna wrap up here. No stream tomorrow. Ooh. The physics in there, some little awkwardness. That was interesting how it launched me that way. All right. Yeah, but we got it. It's a thing that is a thing and has some things. So enjoy. Thank you everyone for being here. We made it for making it to the end here with me. For making it here to the end with me. Everyone here, I'm gonna give everyone 100 points. 100 points to everyone. Thank you, all 18 of you, for being here. I appreciate you. Giving me the motivation to be here every morning. I know I would be up coding anyway, I think. But this is such a great way to keep myself honest. I'm really, really happy with what we have here. I'm gonna clean up that page and do like a full publish, but you have the link. You have the link. Right on time to get 100 points in Immortal Code. That's right. So we finished it up. We finished up the prototype here. If you want to play it, here's a link to it. But yeah, we're going to wrap up for today. No stream tomorrow. I'm 90% sure there will be no stream tomorrow. 90% sure there will be no stream tomorrow. I have an early morning meeting tomorrow. So I apologize. I'm sorry. But I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday to stream. And I'm not sure what we'll be doing on stream. Some thoughts I have. I might be making a level editor for this project. Here's some things that are coming up. A level editor I think would be really cool, but that doesn't help me with my class all that much. Typically I like to keep these streams, productive for me outside of just having fun. So I might be making a level editor, I'm not sure. I might be doing interactive fiction with Twine, which I think would be really fun to do, but I don't know how interesting it'd be to watch. So we might be doing interactive fiction. There was one other thing. Oh, or I might be starting my physics game, which is for a project for my students, but that project won't be until like May. So it's pretty far out there. Yeah, so anyway, I will be back on Tuesday. We're gonna look at someone to raid though. We're gonna see if someone is out there to be raided. Any suggestions for someone to raid? Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what we'll be doing, but it'll be a new project. So yeah, be sure to come back. Be sure to tune back in on Tuesday to check out what's going on. We'll see. We'll stream. Is ITC Studios? Are you streaming? We're gonna go. We're gonna raid Moonniz. Moonniz is still streaming. We're gonna raid Moonniz, who's always here supporting me. Let's make sure Moonniz is on a break. Last time I raided Moonniz was on a break. But we're gonna go to the moon, everybody. We're gonna go check out the moon. Professional game developer. Shout out to Moonniz. Moonniz is making a base game for a, what is it called? Let's do raid. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, we'll have a good day. As always, everybody. Yeah, Moonniz, excellent game developer, helping me out all the time. He's currently working on a Metroidvania. I had to dig deep. My brain couldn't find it. Metroidvania base game. So we're gonna go check that out. As always, keep coding, keep growing, have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. You're welcome back anytime. Take care, everybody.